I'm just, I just stare at the camera and I'm just like, yeah, let's give them a good look. And then everyone else is just like,
hello.
Always thinking of thumbnails.
Yes, that's Liz thumbnail nail.
Thumbnail.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, it's right there.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Chat.
So many
is switching
wonderful
sides.
folks in the chat already. Incredible.
Hello.
it's doing the thing.
It's doing the thing.
You need a number between 1 and 30, 18.
Good.
Us? I love that little bee.
Really are you a
It's
bee?
so
That's a good
cute.
question.
Better. It's amazing just how much the layout of the stream on your screen actually makes a difference of like, okay, well, I want the chat over here, but I want the OBS stream over here. And then I have the video replay over here. And then I have the music here. And then I have underneath that, I have any of the texts that I need. And then over here, I have the initiative tracker. And then over here, I have, it's a lot.
Yeah, I bet. I bet it is.
It's a lot. And because we're separated right now, we're literally using a television in front of us. So
So John's a touch louder. If
Which
we
I
do this.
wish I could see, by the way. Cannot wait to do
Down a
another,
click.
show around the setup. But I guess we
Should
might
do
not
it.
do that for some time yet, just given the double setups. Whoa!
Thank you, Lamar.
No one wants to see our setup. There's cats and litter
Can see
boxes.
our-
And
I mean,
This is
we'll
our house.
take cat
Everywhere.
pictures. Thank you, Obsidian Heart.
Oh, damn. Hey!
I need to
Thank
zoom
you,
this.
Lamira. Thank you, Obsidian. There were some bits as well from Wes. Thank you. Or I think, oh, yeah, thanks, guys, folks.
Yeah.
it's nice to see people tune into what is session 1, episode 1. I guess we're not sessions anymore. We're episodes now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Session 0 is like an industry term.
Yeah.
Whereas episode, whoa, it's happening!
Oh,
Thank you for the hype train.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Pook.
Yay!
Pook just gifted a sub to Jess.
Aw, Jess deserves a sub
Agreed. That's friend of
Thank
the
you.
stream.
for the bit.
Friend of the
Kung Fu
stream and
Fenris
friend to the
decides to go
animals.
cyberpunk.
Just
Oh, friend of the animals.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Kung Fu Fenris.
It's true.
Oh, a bingo square already? It's happening.
such hype, much wow.
I mean, it's not bad.
Oh,
Yes.
Obsidian, thank you.
Pearly Whirly has thrown in chat a pronoun extension that you can have if you are using the Chrome browser. Unfortunately, it isn't yet a Twitch official feature, but it's a great tool to use if you're using Chrome.
but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't see it because I've got the chat bot in
Yeah.
front of me, and so therefore I...
It's on
Yeah.
Firefox now too.
Ooh.
Oh, that's exciting.
Nice.
Well, technically, if it's on Chrome, then it's also on anything that uses Chromium extensions, like
true.
Edge would have it
Edge.
as well, all of that.
Cool.
So it's available. But no matter what, welcome here. Oh,
Congrats.
congrats, Angel Wick.
Wonderful.
Yay!
I see it now, Pook.
Yep.
See your badge. I can see your badge.
Oh, pro move.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're here, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. You've missed Session 0, but that's okay. Session 0 is available on our YouTube channel. You'll be able to see it over there, youtube.com/RPGClinic. And of course, you can always go on to RPGClinic.com, where there's also a link to our wiki, where information is going to be loaded up. Another important thing is that we've got our mods. We have She Who Knows 10,000 Things, Entropy's Disciple, and Strength of Borders,
Ooh.
Aragorn, the Crosshair, and Real Brick Wall are here.
Yeah.
And welcome to all of them. I really appreciate all the work that they do for this channel. We all do. And this is an opportunity for us to kind of kick this off in the right attitude, right?
Boom.
What is the right attitude?
Yeah. Enthusiastic,
Hype.
consist, hype,
Hyped?
consist,
Yeah,
consent.
upset, yeah. Ready for fun?
Yeah.
RFF?
Is this the right attitude?
Slight
I'll
breathe
tell you
out.
what the right attitude is. If you can't make it for these sessions, don't worry. There's going to be rewatches on Saturdays at what time?
11 o'clock Eastern Time. It'll be on our Twitch channel if you want to have the live experience. Otherwise, if you're impatient, Tuesdays at 9 Eastern is when they go up onto our YouTube and onto our podcast, which within a few hours should be distributed everywhere. Podcast stuff tends to go.
Baby Bell and Rum.
Mm.
That's a thing. That's a choice. Folks, one thing that we do have here is the opportunity to tune in. You don't tune into newspapers. It's been a while since I've read an actual newspaper.
Yep.
Scoop in.
For our recaps, we actually do have the Intel report, which is released weekly. Normally, we wouldn't have one for session 1, but we do have a special edition of the Intel report available for you, wherein the Matchmaker's Corner, we have some information about the 3 PCs that we have here today for everyone to see. So
I seem to have picked up this newspaper here.
Oh, what does it say?
If you see a gorgeous pale woman with black hair, black formal clothes, and black makeup, that's probably not a blood-drinking anathema, but Liddell Gale whispered. Gale is probably smarter than half the teachers in this school and gets top marks in any class that has tests where you don't have to run anywhere or talk to anyone. We would recommend trying to get her to tutor you, but rumor has it that when she disappears into the library stacks, she's going to the restrictions section and has orders to kill anyone who tries to follow her.
Orders from who knows?
Voted best smile in the all-school bracket for the last 2 years and sexiest calves in the fire aspect bracket for the past 3, Kathak Pyres is much more than a piece of eye candy. He's the younger brother of highly decorated graduate Kathak Morale, and his fierce fighting abilities promise a fantastic future for him. He's hot goods, but if you get close to him, you're getting caught up in his crusade whether you like it or not.
What does the rest of this paper say here? The burly barefoot beauty being polite to everyone is Kathak Oresta. Your matriarch might turn their nose up because neither of her parents exalted, but Oresta has more dragon's blessings in one of her huge biceps than half of you have in your whole body. She does well in all her classes, and she's as trustworthy as anyone in the dynasty gets. Our only caution is that if you ask her to step on you, she might apologize. Charlie.
If I'm still quiet, should I boost my
yeah, I'd boost your volume slightly.
Yeah. Crank your
hello,
Crank that
hello,
up.
hello.
Thanks, Wes, and thanks those people who joined the hype train.
boom.
I love the Intel report. I can't wait to find out what we're gonna see next.
I mean, do people ask people to step on them often? Is that a thing?
It's apparently a thing amongst the youth these days. So and so can step on me.
Kate. What?
The youth.
The youth.
The youths.
Which basically then places you straight up in not the youths.
Correct.
We've been doing this long enough. We're now seasoned.
I have
Well
seen it
seasoned.
said by people out there on the internet who seem to be of younger ages than I am.
Wait a second. We keep getting older.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Fuck,
boy.
run.
Run! Yeah, exactly.
I think cell phones are always on a delay when it comes to Twitch.
Yeah. Well, no.
Notice that
Android is finally, or at least there was one update where it was basically the same delay. But iOS still has the delay, so I don't know. Yeah. Phone apps, unfortunately, slow.
Well, just before we get started, there is something that we just have to make sure that everybody is aware of, we use safety cards in order to make sure that we get to play at our full potential, take risks while knowing that we are all protected and ready to play while keeping each one of us safe. The green card means I am totally okay and fully enthusiastic about what's going on, even if I don't look like it. The yellow card means I need everybody at the table to pay attention to me for a second. There's something you should know. It could be a heads up about a warning that maybe we're going into some dangerous territory. And the red card means I'm not okay. We have to stop, and we will only start again once I say that I'm okay to continue. Maybe we have to retcon something. Maybe we have to immediately cut away. But no matter what, we'll hit a BR back screen, and we will come back as soon as we've managed to get things sorted out. It's important to note that no one ever needs to justify their use of a card. It is here to help us, not to accuse anyone of wrongdoing. Now, you don't have cards, but you do have options. If you ever feel like you are uncomfortable and need someone to know, you can whisper RPGClinic or one of our mods. They will pass the information along to me anonymously if you so desire. We do want to know. Obviously, we can't make concessions to every audience member. However, you always have the option, if you need to leave chat or leave the stream entirely. We don't want that, but at the same time, we want you to keep yourself safe and healthy. We good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions before we actually start?
No, I was just vamping. No, I'm excited.
Me too.
Okay.
Color-coded cards on Amazon.
Color-coded card. Ooh.
Color-coded cards. Are they just...
Yeah, those look like they'd be perfect if it didn't cost $20 in shipping.
Yikes.
Damn.
I mean, this is probably from
having
Amazon
fun style.
US.
Nice
It
crossover.
is.
We're getting in
Yeah.
on. Those do actually look really good.
Yeah.
It is. But, dang.
Yeah.
All right. It's fun to sometimes go back and look at how you might do things differently. I have run Exalted now for quite some time. I have run first edition, second edition. I ran third edition before it even came out, both with this crew, with full party, and now we're back. We're back to ExalTwitch Academy. And in a way, this is also a way for us to look back on our years growing up, learning, college, university. I don't know about you, but there are times where I thoroughly regret not getting into more shenanigans, and there are times where I thoroughly regret the shenanigans to which I was a party to. I don't know whether that's going to change significantly, considering that you all are walking around with the power of gods coursing through you at all times. But I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to do for all of you as we move forward. I should point out, no matter what, that everything is a little bit larger here in creation. Everything is a little more important, a little more dramatic, a little more funny, but at the same time, it's a lot more you. No matter what happens in this campaign, it is actually the three of you driving it forward. And I expect that we're going to see a few choices made before the end of this. Choices that could have massive repercussions in creation, especially if we ever choose to return in another form here. So be careful, because no matter what you do, there are always consequences, both in university and in-game. You are at the House of Bells, or at least you all study. You are all three cadets of the House of Bells, which is the preeminent military school in the entire realm here in creation, exclusively for dynastic Dragon-Blooded. The House of Bells is located slightly distant from Aruf. It is a huge campus, easily the largest campus out of all of the secondary schools in the realm. And the reason why is because, of course, we need the opportunity to have battles. Battles that can take place in villages custom built for this purpose, open fields, even naval battles just off the coast.
Damn.
And yet, a lot of what you'll be doing here is study. Because after all, what use is a soldier who cannot think, and what use is a commander who can't actually wrap their heads around the strategies that they must use? And as a result, you'll be spending 5 out of your 7 days in class. That is after the calisthenics every morning. I hope you like 5-kilometer runs, no matter what the weather is. I hope you like stretching more than your limbs could possibly want. And I hope that you're ready to study as hard as you possibly can. But for the House of Bells, it's actually more about the weekends, as it were, if weekends existed in creation, which, but for our purposes, 5 days academics. But in those 2 days, it is all about the fighting. Now, for some of you, these fights will mean one-on-one duels. Perhaps you'll be marching in formation. Perhaps you will even be commanding others. But those who fight you, well, sometimes you'll be fighting each other. Other times you will be fighting those who have been offered the chance to work off their punishments for their crimes against the realm by serving as opposing forces to you so that you can learn as well as fight. It is, of course, always a risk that one of you, or many of you, may get injured in the course of your studies. And it isn't unheard of for students at the House of Bells to graduate with honors a bit before their time.
Oh. Like they skip a year.
They skip the rest of the years.
They skip every year.
Rest of their years. Sorry.
There will be a firefight! I am not Willem Dafoe. I also can't scream using this microphone. That would be
probably hurt people.
That would be bad. This is the beginning of your 5th year here at the House of Bells, 5 of 7. And up until now, you have been training, studying, living with the rest of your Fang. The Fang is made of 5, Dragon-Blooded. Your barracks contain the 5 of you living together. Every time one of you fails, you all fail. If one of you succeeds, you all succeed. And if one of you is punished, well, you get the picture. But I should point out that your fangs do not include each other. Until now, you have had your own fangs with your own fellow students. But today, hires, when you arrive, did you leave the school over between years? Did you return home, or did you remain here at the campus?
I think usually I would go home into the loving arms of my house, and probably to great acclaim. But I think this year I chose to remain behind to make sure that I was well ahead on my studies leading into the year.
Gale whispered.
So I went back, but it wasn't far because my home is Argif. So I went back reluctantly, and to the great ambivalence of my family and house.
Wow. Straight up. Okay.
Yeah, straight up.
So you chose to remain.
Sorry, I went back.
You
home.
did go home. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. So you are returning, and Aresta,
I think I would have probably stayed.
you would have stayed.
Yeah, it's, halfway across the Blessed Isle to get back home, so.
I mean, the Blessed Isle is actually
not that
quite
big.
large. It is
It
actually. It's
is.
pretty large.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes several days to cross it if you so chose, and that's assuming that you have good horses for all of them for the entire journey. But staying is fine. Argif is quite close, so of course it's not such a big deal for you. Are you early risers? I mean, in a way, you kind of have to be. You're in a military academy, but how easy is it for you to wake up?
Very.
Not very, but after many years of practice, it is manageable.
Okay. Pyrus, when you wake up, your barracks are empty. And when I say empty, I mean empty. There's you in a bed. There's 4 other beds, but they're also neatly made, and yet there's no personal effects, no clothing, no sign that anyone else in your fang has ever existed here. And in fact, the only thing of yours are anything that would have been that you would have been wearing when you went to sleep.
All of my personal effects are also
All
gone.
of your personal effects are gone.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm leaping out of bed, and I land with some cat-like grace on the floor. Stand up tall, grin, look around. Not a bad joke, not a bad joke. And I immediately start looking for hope and abandon my red jade diclaves. I'm like searching under the bed. I'm looking everywhere.
Your diclaves are nowhere to be seen. Are you actually wearing clothing? Is Pyres the kind of guy who wears pajamas?
But no, I don't think so.
my
Pajamas, I
God,
don't
yes.
think so. That said, a good soldier is always ready for battle, so I'm not.
Ready for battle?
Yeah, I'm ready for battle. Yeah, I'm ready for battle.
Pyres, you want to give us a brief description of what you look like?
Yeah, I do. Pyres is tall. He's perennially flushed with energy and excitement. He's got very large red hair. He's got a twinkle in his eye, high cheekbones. Usually he'd be dressed quite fashionably, I would say. I mean, again, appropriately for the House of Bells. But of course, at this moment, he is not.
Oh, he's very fashionable.
Well, this is going to be a real sucker punch for the rest of the House of Bells as I stride out the front door of the barracks, searching for someone who might know what's going on.
Aresta.
God.
Same thing. Although I have no idea what pajamas you may or may not choose to wear, but
I wear mid-thigh shorts and a tank top.
okay.
Yes.
What else? Otherwise, what do you look like?
So relatively short, curly black hair, deep brown eyes, very strong built, muscular, square shoulders. When she's not fresh out of bed, she tends to be wearing sleeveless shirts or ones with cut-out shoulders, and tends to go barefoot or with only foot wraps when possible.
You are also in barracks that have been completely emptied. 4 beds neatly made, and yours
Where's my footlocker?
gone. Your crate gone.
It's just a test. I'm going to head out into the hallways and figure out what they're trying to test us on this first day of our semester.
Gale whispered, when you woke up this morning, your first day back, so you returned the day before. Same thing. You may want to describe what you are wearing and what your appearance is.
Gale wears like an oversized, the closest thing we could get to a t-shirt in creation, to sleep. She has
Hasabel's frosh
very,
week.
very dark purple hair. It's almost black and it's cropped in a bob, like just below her chin. And when she's fully dressed, she wears a chainmail shirt underneath, long sleeve, dark clothing, long pants. Yeah.
You wake up and everything is gone, including any library books that you had checked out.
Ooh.
Your
Okay,
gateway
so
set.
that's cause for panic. And my artifact?
Unless you sleep with Soaring Eye.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past me, but okay, yeah, let's say no.
You just roll over. Ah! Why?
So like, what's going on? And I immediately start to like examine for clues as to where people could have gone. Muddy footprints. Is the window casement open? Did they leave behind any tracks, any traces?
You can roll me a perception investigation if you want.
Excellent. I will.
Is this the first roll of the campaign?
I'm so sorry it's this.
No,
It's great.
It could be you know what? We could actually have the first roll of the campaign just be your appearance presence as you strut out of the room completely nude.
I'm okay with that. What?
That's 2 successes for me.
It would seem that the people who were formerly sleeping in this room left of their own accord. There wasn't a sign of a struggle. In fact, it would appear that they've made a great effort to make little noise, which would lead you to believe that they were probably taken out one by one, woken up, and then pulled out of the room alongside their belongings. And someone took yours, but did not wake you.
That means they're going to be back for me. So I go to hide
Oh.
It's
in my
possible.
closet.
But by the position of the sun, you can tell that it's almost time for everyone to be awake.
All right. I will carefully leave my room, look left and right, expecting a trap.
So as you look left and right, the only trap that you see is Pyres leaving his room
Third step, yes.
and Aresta leaving hers. At the same time, you have, I would guess, about 5 minutes before everyone else is going to start waking up. After all, sleep is a rare commodity at one of these places, so people tend to sleep as much as they feel they can get away with before it's time for them to wake up, to the sound, of course, of, bugles outside.
Hey.
Good morning.
It's like the strangest salute that I can think of.
Totally not just blocking certain things out of my line of sight.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Where everyone in my room is gone.
Same.
Oh. And the same with me as well. What is this? This must be some kind of fifth year test.
You're
I've
not
never
wearing
heard of
any
this.
clothes.
They were all taken.
They didn't leave you a sheet?
I didn't need it.
Wait there.
I
Go
make
back
my
into
bed
my
in the
room,
morning.
and I come back out with like a pillow, and I want to throw it at you.
Fantastic. I'm going to jauntily hold it, so I'm more modest now.
That's better.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll clean this one.
So where did they go? Yes. Where did they go?
I have no idea. I would imagine they probably brought all of our possessions to the middle of the field where we're going to have to, I don't know, work together to get them back or something like that.
The bugles
but-
sound, but this isn't the standard reveille that you would normally hear. This is sharp, piercing. It's almost an alarm. Not quite an alarm. You would know what that would sound like. It's not like a call to battle. This is a wake the fuck up and get outside now.
All right. Well, seems like it's some sort of good old 50-year surprise. You know, new semester, new fun.
Come, princes of the earth, we shall attack this head on.
I think we're already.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh, good.
Don't leave me behind.
As you head out, the first few students start pulling themselves up out of their own beds in their own barracks. I mean, so there are several barracks. The barracks are basically separated by year.
Mhm.
So one building is all the year 5s, all the year 4s, all the year 3s, up to year 7s. After 7 years, you've graduated. You also don't change barracks from year to year. Your room is your room, and that's the one that you have for the entirety of your stay. But just as you start approaching the edge of the door, you hear the sound of a tapping against the door frame, and you see the quartermaster, Juin, standing just inside her, just inside a common area, a common lounge. And then she inclines her head ever so slightly, as if to say, "Get in here," while the handle of her dire lash just taps slightly against the frame of the door.
Has anyone else entered the halls yet?
No.
Then I'll go in.
Mhm.
I will follow behind Oresta.
Good morning, quartermaster. And I will also follow these two.
She slides the door closed. Sitting on the table, there is there's a bowl of water. Wash up.
Please.
I cupped some water and splashed on my face.
Quartermaster, what is the purpose of this exercise?
This isn't an exercise. This is a reprieve. You're not wearing any clothing.
My clothing has been taken, along with the rest of all of our personal possessions.
I see.
Correct.
And this is befitting of a soldier, to use a pillow to cover your shame?
It is befitting of a soldier to do what must be done, quartermaster.
She inclines her head towards a closet. It's more of a pantry, to be honest. In there, all of you.
I go straight for it.
There's 3 bundles. Uniforms. These aren't the same uniforms that you were wearing before. Your uniform is a combination of signifiers of your year, your house, your aspect, and your fang. These uniforms are identical to the ones that you previously had, except now it indicates that you are of a different fang.
Quartermaster, what is the purpose of this?
I'm to congratulate you, actually. For you see, you have never, in fact, been a part of a fang before. Not until now. Not until today. You have always been a part of this one.
That is not correct.
Now you start hearing everybody filing out into the hallways, and you can hear barked orders as everyone else is being given orders to assemble in the main quad.
That is not correct.
4 years.
For the past 4 years, I have had fang mates. And we have trained together.
Your fang mates are next to you. These are the only fang mates you've ever known.
These are not the fang mates I've known. This is not correct.
Are we free to leave and join our day?
No. Unless you wish to be excommunicated, you're to remain right here.
Understood.
She sits down.
There needs to be a purpose for all of this. This needs to be explained.
Does it?
Yes.
Are you accustomed as a soldier to having everything explained to you?
Something of this magnitude, yes. This is highly irregular.
Sit. I'll do my best. She sits back, and she just starts observing her nails for a second. It's an odd gesture of vanity that you're not used to seeing from the quartermaster. In fact, I'm not sure you've ever even seen her sit down.
Yeah. John, can I try?
Yeah.
It's not gonna go well. Can I try to read intentions here? I'd love to know. Probably not intimacies here. I think I want to try to get a sense of what she's playing at.
What her goal is for the scene?
What her goal is for the scene, exactly.
Yeah, by all means, you are welcome to do so.
And I would like to roll to see if their movements are actually familiar, whether they're moving in a way that I don't recognize. If that makes sense.
You mean Juin herself?
Is this someone? Yeah, is she in is she someone using magic to disguise herself, or like in a disguise or something? I'm trying to.
Okay,
about how
that's perception investigation.
Great.
For you, that is a read intentions roll, which her guile is 3. So for a read intentions roll, this is a perception socialize roll. Every die that comes up a 7 or higher is going to be considered a success. A 10 is 2 successes, and he needs at least 3 successes in order to meet the difficulty of her guile.
And I would like to roll to see if my artifact is anywhere nearby.
Oh, nice.
It is not.
Oh,
balls.
no. How about my books?
No, none of your personal belongings are here.
Not even the library books.
No, except for these new uniforms, which you've been given.
Which I am living for, by the way. I'm wearing mine already. If that was allowed. I think it was allowed. She said it was allowed.
Yes.
I got 2 successes. Not enough.
So you fail. Aresta?
Can't read intentions again. This scene.
Aresta botches.
Double botch.
Well, that's episode 1, folks. See you next week for...
If somebody rolls no successes and also rolls at least 1-1, that means a botch, which means something disastrous occurs.
Oh my god.
So I'm glad that your very first roll in this game is setting the
Aresta.
tone.
It's because of my Val dice, and Val is pissed, so I get it.
Get your dice quick!
There is something off about her. There's something very off about her. The fact that she's sitting down, the fact that she's not immediately following the other students out, this is clearly some kind of trap.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my eye on alternative exit points.
There's recently been some developments back at your homes. Traitors to the realm. It's unfortunate, but after all, when your parents have been identified as somebody who has been lax in their devotion to the Immaculate Order, lax in their devotion to the realm itself, there are consequences. And because certain Fang members have been expelled, that would be implied that the guilt would be shared by all Fang members, which is why you have never had any other Fang members until this moment.
That's a significant number of traitors to the Empire.
I count 3.
There are others of House Kathak.
It isn't a matter of your house, it is a matter of family. This seems to have been something that has spread across multiple houses, Kathak Ladal alike.
Quartermaster, far be it from us to question the goodwill here.
Ah, so you have learned to not question a superior officer. Excellent. What was it that you were going to say? Cadet Pyres?
I was merely going to thank you for this clean outfit. Thank you, Quartermaster.
For the 3 of you, you have been reassigned. Your personal effects are in your new barracks. You're the Fang of the Lost Hand. And I should point out, for the 3 of you, that the Lost Hand is a myth.
Oh? Okay.
Anytime somebody has said that there's been a critical error and it could not be blamed on anyone, it's always said to be the Lost Hand. Anytime in the House of Bells that there has been someone to blame and yet no one to blame, one blames the Lost Hand. It has never existed as a Fang before. There are no records of it. And yet, now here you are.
If I may ask a question out of character, John, I just want to make sure that I understood that correctly. It was our previous Fang mates who were, whose families were accused of treason?
Remember that if one person gets punished, the entire Fang gets punished.
Right.
Which means that one of your Fang mates has been expelled, which ostensibly means that the others could have been as well. You seem to have been spared.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, no, if they accuse my family, we'd be rolling initiative right now. I don't know about you.
Oh my
Like,
god.
let's go.
All right, one session in.
I should also point out that your Fangs there's no allegiances to houses or aspects or anything like that. It's literally you're lumped together with 4 other cadets, and that's the way it is.
Yep.
Yes. Plague Lord has it correct. Your former Fang mates are no longer your former Fang mates because they are now excommunicado.
That's what I first understood. Then at some point I went in the other direction, so thank you, Liz, for clarifying.
Thank you, John, for clarifying.
Thank you, John.
And thank me.
And thanks, Spires, for putting
Putting on
clothes.
pants.
Okay, all right, okay. God.
These 3 are being brought for interrogation. The rest of the student body is seeing them leave. You are to get your barracks in order. In the next... She does not look at her wrist, as she does not wear a watch, because watches are not a thing in this particular... well, they can be, but they aren't. You have about 15 minutes.
What of the rest of our Fang? I mean our new Fang. The Fang of the Lost Hand. Where are the other 2?
What other 2?
There should be 2 others. We are incomplete.
I see.
You expect us to function as a Fang of 3?
I mean, some of us would do just fine.
I
can't
expect
speak
that
for
you'll fare just as bad as well as could be expected.
Keyword is expected. Let us go.
Before you go, I don't know why the 3 of you have somehow been spared the fate of the Fang mates you never had. I wouldn't go digging too deeply into it. And at the same time, I understand that your Fang is not complete. But know that you have been given the choice. No one ever has. You'll be able to recruit 2 more. But you'd better make damn sure that they're the ones you want. Because if they're not, you're stuck with them. And if you somehow manage to pick a Fang member who has also been found to be less than loyal, I doubt that this reprieve will last. More so, it should shine additional doubt upon you in the first place. So be very careful who you pick. Oh, and one more thing. Anyone you pick is already a part of an existing Fang. No? Which means you'll be making at least 4 enemies for everyone you choose. Good luck.
I wordlessly pick up my bag and start to shuffle back towards the barracks.
You're now carrying, if you're not already wearing, your uniform, and your new barracks have been indicated to you. They are at the very far end of the building, a part of the building that has been in some disrepair for some time. The roof is leaking. The windows rattle. And your beds are very clearly beds that have not been maintained in the past 20 years.
Is this barracks then like normally not in use?
That's correct.
What, just hanging out here? This feels like we're in punishment.
We've been brushed under the rug.
No, quite the
afoot.
opposite, I think. It strikes me as an opportunity.
Well, I certainly intend to treat it as an opportunity.
Good, then we're agreed.
We're being played. I don't know what for. They absolutely expect us to fail. Why else would they call us the Fang of the Lost Hand? Why else would they set us up as only 3?
Of course.
Something
I have
else.
no intention of failing.
No. We have to defeat their expectations.
We have to find out what happened to our former Fang mates. Because whatever they did could come back to impact us. And I will not have them damaging what I have worked so long to build here.
So that would be 12 suddenly missing members of the House of Bells. That wouldn't go unnoticed.
Your artifacts, by the way, are in this room, alongside the rest of your personal belongings.
I would like to check the crate and quickly, do a quick inventory.
Everything seems to be in there. I should also point out that the 3 of you have been assigned into... none of you have the commander's bunk, which is the one closest to the door. The 3 of you have been placed in the 3 other beds. I should also point out that it is tradition in the House of Bells that if you become the ostensible leader of your Fang, then you take possession of that bed, thereby swapping with the previous leader.
May I just say, there is an awful lot of ambition in this room. And that, for one, I, for one, am incredibly excited. I don't think we've gotten off on the wrong foot, but I wanted to introduce myself.
Cathak Pyres.
You obviously know of Cathak Pyres.
Oh, obviously, okay.
Pyres is seen as a... he's an up-and-comer. His sister, one of the preeminent, most recent graduates of the House of Bells, valedictorian, as it were. And expectations on Pyres seems to be even higher. Whether or not you've heard of Aresta is up to you, Pyres.
Mm-hmm.
No, I have, certainly. I think I probably made it my business to know as much as possible who the other members of House Cathak were here at the House of Bells. Whether or not I chose to associate them is, yeah, up for debate. Indeed, that's me, hoping to make a name for myself, separate from the one you may have already heard. Perhaps. Perhaps not.
Cathak Aresta. I've seen you at the library.
I go in for a handshake as well, yeah.
I'm holding my hand out towards Gale.
Whoops! I step in front. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey!
Hey, it's but no, I don't do that. Sorry.
Ladal Gale whispered.
I do my best not to squeeze your hand too hard because you seem like the wispy type.
Crunch.
So I try to like compensate by like squeezing, which probably does nothing.
I acknowledge and respect it.
I should point out that for the three of you, at the moment, my assumption is that you actually don't know any of each other's intimacies.
I think
Right.
that's safe to say.
Okay. That's fair.
So that's the three of us.
And that's when you hear on the outside, so there's something called the Bell's Gasp. When students are standing in formation at attention, it is considered unbecoming for you to vocalize any surprise or any expressions of emotion. And yet, there's this small, not quite imperceptible intake of breath, which is the equivalent of the House of L's cadets going, ooh, all at once. But it sounds more like,
Oh.
You should get out there.
and then you hear a cry of pain.
I'm putting on my my chainmail shirt quickly and throwing on I
Yeah,
guess
I'll
this
throw
new
on my
uniform.
breastplate.
Yeah, as well. I also have a breastplate, and I take my diclaves as well. Just we're ready, and it seems to me like we're all hastening out the
Oh
door.
yes, hastening.
Tetsuo, buckle as I go.
When you make it outside, you see that everybody is lined up in Year, and then Fang, and then of course the commanders of each Fang, or the leaders, I should say, of each Fang, because you're not really a commander, you're more of a leader. Like, technically you receive orders from others, and at various exercises, somebody maybe breveted the commander, and that's not necessarily the leader of the Fang. The leader is really more of a tradition in the House of Bells, as opposed to like a deliberate, like teachers don't assign it to you, and they don't even recognize leaders. They just pick whoever they believe would be the correct commander in any one particular exercise. And yet everybody knows it. Without even saying, there is a leader, and the leader is always the one who stands on the right of the 5 lined up. And you're to line up in order of your rooms, which would mean that you would have to stand at the rear of Year 5. Which is like the worst place to stand to be able to see what's going on. But in a way, it can also be the best, because then you're the furthest away from the attention of whoever is speaking.
But I sense that the three of us are not going to sort of, be all like, floopsy and whatever the word is that I'm looking for here.
Lackadaisical?
Undisciplined, I guess is what I mean. We're making our way to the back of the 5th years to line up as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Which one of you is standing on the right?
I'm moving to take that spot.
I would like to intercept such that Gale can get there if she goes for it.
Gale is not going for it. She's aiming to stand as far away as
Iris in
possible.
the face.
I
But
would
she
like
is
to.
watching to see who does take it.
Then I would like to shift my adjustment so that it just slightly jostle Pyrus and let him take it.
Like a shoulder check? Like the equivalent?
Slightest bit of
Just a little bit, just a
shoulder
little
check. Just like, half a centimeter of skin would have gotten, of contact. It's not like a full shoulder.
Yeah,
Byers goes flying.
I am quite warm. just for the record, I guess.
This puts you, by the way, Pyres, directly behind Regara Brevin, who is well known as the loudest mouth in Year 5. Always managing to show just how well connected he is, just how popular he is with the other with his fang mates. The thing is that a lot of it is manufactured. He isn't necessarily a better student than anyone else, and he isn't necessarily a better fighter than anyone else, but somehow he manages to project this. And a lot of that is because of wealth more than anything else. For some reason, he always happens to have the latest in fashion, always manages to have the latest in gifts that are being delivered. And believe me, it's hard to get gifts inside the House of Bells. It's a military academy. They're not like here to pamper you. And yet somehow he does. And he somehow gets away with it. And he knows it. And then as you line up, you can hear just very obviously coming from in front of you. It's funny, that's not where you stood before.
And I'll speak back, and I don't think I can really control the volume of my voice in this moment as I just say, new special assignment.
New special assignment, eh? So you managed to off the rest of your fang?
They wouldn't be my first targets.
I'd like to loudly crack my knuckles.
Yikes.
So you have the strong silent type and the smart weak type to accompany you. That's who you ended up with, Pyres? You're pathetic.
You shut up.
And then, I mean, he's also saying this still looking straight ahead, right? At the moment, your former fang mates are just being paraded in front as they are leaving the House of Bells, accompanied by several of the faculty walking on either side. This is a dismissal.
Can we confirm, are there 12 people leaving?
You can see...
Or if we can't.
You can see
confirm.
10.
Okay.
I would like to do a read intentions just to see if any of them seem more chastised than the rest.
Ooh.
Okay, this is more of... so a read intentions is to determine intimacies or to determine their goal for the scene.
Right.
So what are you looking for?
Just if any of them seem like guiltier than the rest of them.
Okay.
Like if they were all split up to question, then one of them was probably given the truth as to why they're being expelled and the others weren't.
So perhaps we're looking for an intimacy in terms of perhaps loyalty outside the realm?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I'll let you just roll that as a bulk roll. And we'll just average out their guiles. So go ahead and roll your perception socialize. We'll say that the guile is 2 for this one.
It's just one success.
Oh,
No.
It's
We
not
need-
my story. She's staring really hard. Just fucking shit.
Do any of them seem injured?
No. None of the 10 that are walking off seem injured. There should be 12.
Mm-hmm. Which of our fangs are they missing from?
Your 4 are still there. They're in front of you.
Ouch.
It's 1 from Pyres and 1 from Gales that are not seen currently. Gilligood, I understand. Right now, we're just starting the game. We're not getting into the intricacies of the system right now, and honestly, also, it's not that big a deal. As we progress through the game, then we'll start adding more and more layers of what the appropriate situations are for this. But for now, we're just getting everybody used to the system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've established that 10 are being marched out, 2 are missing,
That's right.
and Gail tries as she can, and cannot determine if there's anything special about any of the 10 that are being marched out.
Pyres, you're going to have to put a leash on her. I am not going to accept anyone telling me to shut up. Not from that thing.
I'm gonna. Can I reach him without stepping out of line?
You absolutely can. In fact, both of you can. Are you
I'm just
carrying
gonna-
your Tetsubo?
Yes.
Okay, then, I mean,
Why? You can reach the person in front of him. I'm just going to reach out and just very gently sort of like touch him on the shoulder. If you value your life, Brevin, I think now is not the time.
you're threatening my life when yours is almost over, right here. Don't think that I don't recognize who's standing up in front of us. Who's leaving? What'd you do? Rat them all out?
You think I'm a traitor, Brevin?
No, I think they're traitors. I think you're just an idiot.
You're getting dangerously close to having to put your money where your mouth is.
That's fine. You can just spend the rest of your days playing Gateway with Gale Whispered.
I'm sure Tepet Nuven would love to hear how conversational the two of you have been during this. You like your legs, don't you?
That shuts me up for sure. I don't know about Brevin.
While you can only see the back of Brevin's head, it's so clear that his face is just stretching wide with a shit-eating grin.
Oh. I would like to try to turn my face a little bit towards Aresta and give her a nod that hopefully says both "I'm so sorry" and "nice" all at once. That's my attempt. It's one of these.
You start hearing that there's at least a couple of faculty members who are walking behind you now. This is standard, making sure that everybody is standing at attention. And then you hear, just at the very top, you hear the ringing voice of Juin, the quartermaster. There'll be no calisthenics today. You're to proceed to mess and then immediately to your first class. Dismissed. And everybody just doesn't quite know what to do.
To mess?
Yeah, that's where we're headed.
I don't have to run today. Good.
It's the best way to start the day.
No. The best way to start the day is with 20 pages of a library book. Any 20 pages. It's better to keep your mind sharp.
I see. That's what you do first thing in the morning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As Brevin turns to walk towards the mess, as he's walking with either side of his thang, just like flanking him like an entourage. Pyres doesn't even have anybody to protect him anymore.
Pyres, do you need protection?
Well, he's not getting it from her. And he indicates, Gale Whispered,
Oh, I'm pretty sure you like your Achilles heels intact.
I'm sorry, miss. I only want to read in the mornings. I don't like it when I have to do anything. Ugh.
Haunting your idiocy is not a clever move.
Regara Brevin, here in the House of Bells, here in the realm, as I'm sure you're aware, we must work together. We are all princes of the earth.
Oh. Cathak Pyres. Great hero of the House of Bells. I'm sorry that I ever doubted you. They also are making an effort to move a little bit faster to make sure that they get to the mess before you do.
Can I I'd like to try to inspire some anger in him by giving him my smarmiest apology accepted.
And what intimacy are you using to...
yes. Oh, if it's an inspire. Yeah. Okay.
Take a guess.
Yeah, am I allowed to take a guess, John?
How about a love of wealth?
No.
Love of self.
I'm going to assume he has an intimacy, a tie towards me. A negative tie. It's just a guess.
So the idea that you want to inspire an emotion into a character is I mean, it's so a love of what is what you're attempting?
No, anger.
Okay, so you're attempting to use anger, but what are you trying to do to inspire this anger?
Oh, well, we've been sassing back and forth. He offered me very sarcastic thanks, hoping to goad me into anger, and I would just want to return it with a very simple apology accepted, be on your way. Dismissed,
Okay.
I might even say.
So Gilligood is correct. You don't need it to explode an intimacy to inspire. It does help, right? You can use it to try and lower their resolve on this one.
Right.
But so you can guess at an intimacy, but otherwise you can just go right ahead.
Okay.
That's going to be a charisma presence roll.
Okay. In the future, I'll try to find a moment
That's
to
a
read
good-
intentions.
It's a good
an
excuse to read intentions on them, but right now you're just trying to piss them off. I get it.
That is correct. I am. So here we go. Oh. Okay. Not sure if there's any modifiers to his resolve or anything, John, but I have my successes here.
You have how many?
2.
His resolve is 2. So, are you just continuing on to the mess after trying to make him angry?
Yep.
Okay.
Is his appearance higher than Brevon's? Because if your appearance is higher than the target's resolve, you gain a bonus die and instill.
Instill and persuasion. He's
instill is not
inspiring.
inspire. Sorry, wrong ins.
In thing.
Wrong ins. Yeah.
Eventually, I'll instill something into Brevin, right, guys?
Yeah.
One of these.
You do manage to take a couple more steps, and then you feel just a slightest moment of hesitation on his part, and he whirls, delivering a savage kick to the back of your knee.
Ooh.
I don't think you're showing the proper respect. And this has now got the attention of the rest of his fang, who all turn and just set themselves. And a couple of the students, the faculty seem to be ignoring this. For the most part, unless you're in the middle of class or in the middle of an exercise, they don't deal with these sorts of interpersonal discussions.
I'm going to immediately sort of like bounce back to my feet and turn around as well. Respect must be earned, not bought, Brevin.
I just like to swing my Tetsubo up onto my shoulder.
You do not disrespect any member of my fang, including myself. I don't care whether you've managed to somehow weasel your way out of the just expulsion that you deserved. But no one does. So what's it going to be, Pyres? I demand an apology.
For disrespecting you.
You know what's terrible about you?
This
The
is
fact that
gonna be
you
good.
just don't learn. You and me, right here, right now. A little bit out of this before breakfast. And just to keep it fair, I'll let your crippled fang stay out of it. And I'll keep mine from really messing you up.
It's a foolish move, Brevin, but I've come to expect that from you. And I'll take I am quite used to my to using Hope and Abandon, my Diclaves, I'm not going to draw them as of yet, but I am going to take a stance as if they're drawn, if that makes sense. Like I'm going to sort of like kind of come down low to a two-handed stance.
I'm gonna check, sort of nod to the rest of his fang to imply, like, take a step back as I take a step back.
So
You back off.
the rest of his fang all seem like, okay, so you're familiar with the concept of like, clearly they were all like held back a few grades. I mean, it's not quite the case, right? You're college aged at this point. You're not in like that situation where like they're clearly 25-year-olds and you're all like 14.
Yeah.
But they all look a little bit more like they're on the thicker end of the physicality.
They're the Bruins and we're the Habs. I got it.
The Bruins!
The one on the very left, though, keeps glancing at Gale for a second, and then, like, as soon as you notice this, immediately, he just is like, oh, what? But they all take a step back.
What?
Gale, you get the
Yes.
distinct impression that you are being watched. You as the
This-
group, not you specifically.
That the group is being watched.
Yes, you're being observed by more than just the students who are around you.
I would like to determine who is observing us.
That's perception investigation. Or, sorry, no, perception awareness.
Whoa.
Uh,
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's 3.
You see that Juin is watching, and Juin is standing next to, sorry, I have the name right here. You know, I am only one who came up with the damn names. You think I'd remember. Juin is standing next to Vnif Garavel, who's the chief medic.
Okay.
Garavel is also a wood aspect. He's about average height, dark brown skin, but very, very green eyes and close-cropped green hair, green beard. He's got a reputation of not being very friendly with the rest of the faculty, probably because the rest of the faculty do their best to drive the cadets into the ground, and it's his job to pick them up out of the ground and get them back out onto the field. And there are rumors that he also is one of the only faculty members who will actually listen to you if you have things to discuss that are on the more emotional side, as opposed to strategic maneuvers or knowledge. But it seems that the two of them are standing there mutely holding witness to what's going on here.
And do I notice that there's one member of the other Fang who is observing, who's glancing at me?
Yes.
Do they seem competent?
I would say competent is a good way of putting it. They're not as good a student as you are. The
course.
person who is looking at you is Nemen Ventive.
Nemen? Okay.
Nemen Ventive. He's an earth aspect.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Excellent.
Brevin, who is a martial artist and carries no weapon,
Cool, I'm fucked. Good.
just places both of his hands down in front of him, takes one deep breath in and out. It's okay. If you need your weapon, go ahead.
I am not moving, but I am ready.
You know, Pyres, we should go. Because there is that test today on the history of the realm. And I will not have any Fang mates of mine bringing down my average.
Ah, yes. For one's grades is more important than one's honor.
Yes. And I'm
Yeah, duh.
Yes.
Right.
And I'm also trying to say
That's
this
good.
in a way to freak out Brevin because I know he's a terrible student. So
Oh yeah, no, he's
I'm
an
fully lying about the fact that there's a test today.
he is an awful student. You are absolutely correct. Brevin
I like
uses
that.
fire dragon style, by the way. It's been asked.
Okay.
So is that an attempt to play on perhaps an intimacy he has towards being shitty at school?
Yeah.
Fear.
This only seems to make him even angrier.
Whoop. That's not good.
Come on, Pyres. I insist that you walk away from this because we have some studying to do.
I will drop my guard and stand. Regara Brevin, it is always a pleasure. I can't wait for us to do this again. Perhaps next time you'll tell me why I drive you to such rage.
Perhaps next time you'll tell me why House Cathak raises cowards.
There are no cowards in House Cathak.
Significant glance at Aresta.
Nice try.
Can I read intentions on this guy?
Oh yeah.
Given that he just accused us of being cowards, which, like, I mean, I understand where it's coming from. I'd like to know if he has any intimacies towards, oh hell, members of this Fang. The Fang of the Lost Hand. Well, not the Fang of the Lost Hand, but us.
Okay.
Can I do that? Okay, I'll do that. Wee! Oh. Yeah. One day I'll figure out a way to boost my... Well, I will eventually be able to boost my roll here. Ooh!
Hey.
Willpower.
I got 3 successes.
Well, that does beat his guile.
Yes!
He has a tie to Cathak Pyres.
Nemesis.
Rivalry, I guess, would be the correct way to put it.
Oh god, okay. I like
It's a
nod
minor
as
intimacy.
politely as I can. And then I walk hashtag I walk away. Well, no, I'm being called by my Fang. It's not polite to let us to let them go on without me.
I'm waiting for Pyrus to pass me.
Pyres is walking away, so.
Brevin isn't following.
No, he's like glancing at his other Fang mates, being like, "You see, I totally won. I won right there. I'm the winner." And they all seem to be supporting this hypothesis, the fact that he is the winner and you are not.
Can't really fight, but
I'm leading Pyres in the direction of Juin and Garavel.
Okay.
So that in case Pyres is attacked from behind by Brevin, then that's in plain sight of our faculty.
I'll follow. I'll take up
You're
the
following?
rear.
Cowards. All 3 of them. And their uniforms suck.
Try hard.
And they head off towards the mess, which is in the opposite direction.
Cool. As soon as they're gone, I'm gonna turn around and go back the other way.
Juin glances at Garavel, just shakes her head, and walks back towards the barracks. Garavel just watches with his long, spindly fingers just drumming on his arm.
Well, test 1 complete. Thank you, Gale. Whispered.
Regards.
regards, Gale
Regards.
whispered.
Gale whispered.
That's very funny.
Look, he called you an idiot, but he's the idiot. Also, he asked for help last year when he was failing. He asked me to tutor him.
Did he really?
Hmm.
That's some hot gossip, the doll Gale whispered.
It's not gossip, it's facts.
No, I know. If it's not common knowledge, it could be gossip, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, don't use that for anything.
Oh, I
Is-
see.
Where you get power is by what you know about your enemy because they're being too stupid to keep anything inside.
Pyres, we've both seen you naked. You don't have to prove anything to us, okay?
That's right. You have nothing more to hide. We have seen you at your core.
You don't have to
I feel very seen.
size yourself up.
But Brevin is arrogant, wealthy, spoiled rotten, quick to anger, and therefore easy to manipulate. We learned all of that just from 2 minutes.
He's the kind of dragon blood who gives all of us a bad name. And who gives the House of Bells a bad name.
He just gives
And his
himself a bad name.
No. Our actions define more than just ourselves.
His fang. He and his fang are a bunch of shits. They're bullies. They like picking on anyone they can pick on. Don't let them win. Should have learned that.
I was taught to stand up to bullies.
Yeah. They stopped bothering my fang year 1.
Sounds like a story, Oresta.
If he keeps pulling that shit, he's gonna end up with a broken jaw. Let's just leave it at that.
But wouldn't it be so much more satisfying to defeat him in another way?
Oh yeah, that's why I haven't done it yet.
He wants you to fight him. So don't fight him. He wants to look good in front of his fang. So don't fight him in front of his fang.
Fight him alone.
If you want to. Or make his fang lose trust in him.
I don't know. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't...
Just let him get lost in the woods when we're doing a goddamn battle practice.
Knowing our luck, we'll probably be paired with his fang at some point. God.
Let's just not give whoever the hell this is in charge of all this any sort of incentive to kick us out.
No. You're right. Beginning of year 5, still haven't quite managed to rein in my passions, shall we say. He just knows how to cut to the quick.
It should be pointed out that failure out of the House of Bells, the most common way to leave the House of Bells. Death is one way, but failing out is definitely a thing. And honestly, it used to be that if you failed out of the House of Bells, then you would never be able to serve in any army because it would show that you can't cut it. These days, a lot of armies kind of need people no matter what, right? There's the fact is that the Scarlet Empress has been gone for 5 years, and all of the great houses are trying to figure out ways to manipulate, cheat, cajole, win, force, or fight their way into power. And so they often will take people who aren't graduates of the House of Bells, but who at least have some of the training. Now, that being said, if your fang ever falls to 3, you risk your fang being disbanded and everyone else being redistributed to other fangs, which may be missing a member at any one point in time. You seem to have been given a reprieve based on the fact that you're only 3 and not immediately being distributed elsewhere. Strange in and of itself.
Very.
I mean, if we're going to be making enemies by taking someone, should we take someone out of his fang?
This was something I considered, but they would need to be vetted carefully. The 2 of you already have apparent strengths that I can see will complement my own.
Why us? Do you think? I'm simply asking a question that I think we're all probably thinking. Here at the House of Bells, you live or die based on the strength of your bond with your fang. I was very close with them, as I'm sure you all were.
We're being set up. Something's going on, and as much as the others have been marched away -2, something is up. Everyone knows, and everyone will know if they didn't notice that we're separate.
Well, exactly. The powers that be want us to be here, either to, as you say, Aresta, to play our hand and fail, or perhaps give us an opportunity to prove ourselves. I don't know why. I'm not much of a thinker.
Well,
Okay.
it doesn't help to hypothesize right now. We need facts. And right now, the only facts I know is that the three of us are in a new fang. I know more facts than that, but as are directly pertinent to what we're talking about.
Right.
The three of us are in a new fang. We need to not get our asses kicked on day one.
My ass was not going to be kicked for
And-
what it's worth.
We need a good breakfast to start our day. Since there's no run, all the more time to eat. May actually be able to chew your food before you swallow. Uh,
Fires!
But I like my food now. We're headed in towards the mess hall.
When you make it into the mess hall, I should point out that in the mess, there are a fantastic number of foods available, right? Like, I should point out, you are still cadets. You will not be eating as well as you would if you were at home, but this is still, you are still dynastic dragon-blooded, subject to every possible luxury as long as it isn't seen as pampering you. So plenty of food to get you all fueled up for the rest of the day. And you do, however, notice that the tables with which you would normally have seated with your former fangmates are all empty.
That's heavy. That's heavy. I don't know. Is there a creaky old shitty wet table somewhere we can sit
No,
at?
I
Preferably
gravitate-
under a leaky roof.
Man, I gravitate towards my old table. It's empty, it's empty.
Bam, Aresta. Let's go. Actually, that is a good question, John. Like, I mean, tables are presumably sort of like assigned to fangs, but are they also assigned to barracks? Like, could we do that?
Tables are, so as in many schools, much of it is tradition as opposed to rule. So people tend to sit at the tables that their fang always sits at. But it's not like a rule, and there are definitely times where people sit away from their fangs if for some reason they have reason to.
Mhm.
I mean, is there, how about a table that's close to the exit?
So your usual table.
Just in case.
You can sit at your old fangs table. It's relatively close to the exit.
Excellent.
Standing up at the table and regaling them with a tale is Brevin over at his table, which is a fair distance away, enough that you can't quite clearly hear what he's saying, but he's raising his arms and pantomiming, and there's laughter, not just from his fang, but from the other tables surrounding. And every once in a while, there's this glance over at the three of you.
I will not give him power. I will not give him power. I will not give him power.
So how was your break?
I'm sorry?
How was your break?
Between years?
Tell me about your holiday.
It was not a holiday.
Tell me about your time off between semesters. I am attempting to distract you.
I used my time in a way that was new to me. I normally would return home. I did not want to.
Why not?
There was to be someone there that I didn't want to see.
Your sister.
I'm sorry?
Your sister.
What do you know about my sister?
I know that she went here before you. I know that she's very decorated.
That's all everyone knows about her.
Yep.
So, I decided to stay here to get a bit of reading done in advance.
What are you reading?
We wouldn't have our books on us because I don't have like a little book bag. Although, note to self, get me one of those like little leather straps, like a book holder. What are those called? You know what I'm talking about? Like a book strap. Everyone know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's like a belt for your books. And you just sling it over your shoulder and shit. It's beautiful. I love that. Thank you. But I don't have that on me. So I'll quote some readings that we have for this current semester.
Gale inquires as to the editions that he has been reading.
Editions?
Yeah. First edition, second.
Well, the one that they gave us.
Oh, okay. You're by the letter. See?
Brevon's Fang already completed breakfast. Stand up, and as they're heading out towards the exit, which of course puts them on a path towards you, Brevon is continuing his story. And of course, it wasn't just Gale Whispered who prevented this clash of fates from occurring. There was the other one. Oh, I don't really know that much about her. I mean, her parents aren't that interesting. Her parents aren't even exalted. I suppose even the elemental dragons in their wisdom can take pity on a nobody. And there's laughter, and then one of them kicks one of the legs of your chair.
I'd like to stand right the fuck up and grab, I'd like to actually try to grab their leg as I stand up.
I'm like half over the table, because I need to get in on this ASAP.
So, you know what? We're not going to enter combat with this just yet, but I will have you roll a dexterity martial arts.
See if this is another double botch. It's not.
Yay!
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
4 successes.
Whoa.
Okay, so you do manage to grab the ankle.
Huh?
You manage to grab this guy's ankle, haul it up. So now the thing is, he's still quite flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So he's now standing with one of his feet in the air. So he's off balance, but he hasn't fallen yet.
Oh, you almost tripped. Sorry about that. And I'd like to, throw his foot down.
So impressive.
As you throw his foot down, that's when the rest of Brevon's Fang just steps forward. They pull your chair out, and they smash it on the ground, splintering it.
Breaking school property.
You've got to be more careful.
How mature.
So this is going to be it. Your first day as a Fang, and you're already attacking us.
Weird, you just broke my chair.
Oh, I don't think anybody saw that.
Oh, I see.
I would like to sort of blatantly turn and motion to the rest of the room. Are any of them looking in this direction?
Well, they are now that they hear
yeah.
the splintering of a chair.
Oh, sure, okay.
You better watch yourself. It's not like mommy and daddy can get you out of any trouble.
Yeah, I know. I don't have to rely on being mollycoddled.
John,
But I guess I now know where your manners come from.
Oh.
Can I attempt to start an ooh at Arresta Burn?
Yes.
Yeah, you can try.
This is great, Gale. Keep it up, buddy.
This is an attempt to get the entire room to do that, or are you just doing it yourself and hoping that they follow?
I'm trying to thank you guys. I'm trying to not inspire, that's the technical term, but I'm trying to get the room into it. Yeah.
So you are trying to inspire. That's literally what inspiring is.
That's literally what that means. Thank you, Snoopaloo. Well, then yes. Okay, sure.
So what you are attempting to do is inspire
Well, it's like-
excitement.
Well, yeah, or awe at the burn, or... No, I think, yeah, I
So
think excitement.
inspiration only lets you choose an emotion.
Right.
It's up to me to decide what they do with that emotion. So pick an emotion, and I mean, the thing is, if you succeed and it's right after a sick burn, then that's probably what it's going to be.
Burn. Yeah, so I'll choose excitement as the thing I want to...
Excitement?
Like, yeah.
All right. Now that you are attempting to do this against a mass of people, we'll bring in the rule that Gilligood mentioned before. So this is a mass attempt at social influence. So there is a -3 penalty to your roll.
Okay.
But this is appearance, presence.
Pirates.
Appearance. That's me.
Yay!
I'm going to I'm going to spend 2 motes for a success,
Mm-hmm.
and then if I roll any 10s, I get to roll some dice.
Okay,
Some non-charmed
for sure.
dice.
I'll also give you 2 dice for your stunt.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let's spend some motes. Ooh. Commit motes?
Yes.
Yes. I really want to keep this going forever. Okay. So I'm going to roll an additional die. There's a 10 here.
Yes, appearance is actually useful in Exalted Pugajutsu, and we can get into why that is while he's counting. Appearance in social influence matters if your appearance is higher than your opponent's. It makes it easier for you to persuade them just based on the fact that you're hot. But also, appearance is used not when it's your genuine belief or when you're trying to manipulate somebody else, but when it is very simply a gut instinct attempt to get people to follow you. The Exalted are very good at trying to get people to follow their whims, and sometimes all it takes is just a commanding attitude, which would be appearance.
I rolled with my automatic success 7 successes.
And that includes the -3 penalty to
Oh.
dice that you were supposed to
No, thank you. So I will re-roll that.
re-roll, please.
Thank you. I did forget. But
Yeah.
there's still I bought a success, so we'll speak about that.
Oh, you can keep that. I just mean, I was like 7. Wow, that's a lot for considering that you have 3 fewer dice to work with because of your penalty.
Roll for the 10s. Nope.
Damn.
But appearance is also not necessarily based on just your physical appearance. It can also be your bearing. It can be your fashion choices. There's a lot that goes into it. Go ahead.
6 successes.
Oh, well, that's just not nearly as good, is it?
Baller.
I know. Sorry.
So 6 successes is still beyond what most people would be capable of, but you are Exalted. This does prompt the crowd to start getting very interested. There's some chanting, and then you see that there's people who are pulling tables away to create space for this to occur.
No, I wouldn't want to get a stern letter from your parents.
No, you wouldn't, because they could buy and sell your pathetic family over 4 times.
Cute.
You say cute, but that's only because you don't understand what it's like to live here. Are you sure you're not a lost egg? Or maybe you're a look-shy traitor? Tell me who you really are. Or did you somehow manage to exalt from base parentage?
If you haven't done your research, it's not my job to educate you.
Are you?
And can I jump in here as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like enough for everybody to hear. Brevin, do you want to tell everybody what the fuck is your problem? You're so angry. You're so filled with spite and hate and jealousy, and it's disgusting. Brevin,
Roll
not
join
a good
battle.
look on you. Trust me, I know a good look on you.
I don't know if Zoom let him hear that.
Roll join battle.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm trying to turn this around on him. Okay, here we go.
He just said roll
Nope.
join battle.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Zoom is doing this with our volumes, so yeah, so
Thank
you can't necessarily hear when someone jumps in. Nope, not battle groups. Chronicles. No.
So I will let I will let Gale Whispered, and I will also Aresta, although at the moment it's Brevin who is rolling join battle, and the intention is to act towards Pyres. So
I had my eyes on Brevin, so definitely react.
In
Can I opt to not roll at this point and then roll if I decide to act?
yes. You would then roll when you decide to, and then at the beginning of the next round, you would roll join battle, and then you would slot into the initiative order where you would end up.
Perfect. Gale is still eating her roll.
I can't argue with that.
She's arranging battle formations in the crumbs on her, in the peas on her plate.
battle formations.
You know, if Pyres just took 2 steps to the left, he would be able to utilize the bench as covers from.
All right.
This carrot
Please
is
whisper
Pyres.
loudly. I would be a carrot.
I sure hope that your characters are updated on lat casting Atemi.
Yep.
Okay. Pyres, your initiative. What did you roll as a result?
I rolled 6. Yes, I rolled 6 as a result.
There we go.
Okay.
Put
So
myself in.
throw yourself into battle,
Yeah,
please.
I'm also at 6.
And Brevin.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. So 9. Sorry.
Okay. So then that makes sense, which means that Cathak Pyres, you are going to start out with an initiative of 9.
Yes.
And Aresta?
6.
Whoops. There we go. Aresta will throw you in at 6. And we'll say that Brevin is A on this one.
Mhm.
He's going to go in at 6.
Okay.
So, that means that we have Aresta and Brevin sitting at 6 on the initiative scale, but for you, Pyres, you start at 9. Let me give you a very brief rundown of what this actually means. In Exalted, combat is handled a little bit differently than from other games. The most important stat is actually initiative, because it's initiative that you're going to be able to use in an attempt to actually try to damage the other opponent. On your turn, you can choose to make either a withering attack or a decisive attack. A withering attack is your attempt to build your own initiative track while also reducing your opponent's. A decisive attack, however, if that is successful, means that you get to roll your current initiative as your damage pool. So withering attacks are attempts to have your character gain the advantage in the fight. Maybe if your initiative is low, it means that you're on the back foot, you're against the wall, you're stumbling, or maybe you've had a couple of insignificant cuffs, like a few bruises or scrapes. Whereas a high initiative means that you have gained the advantage in the fight. Think of it in terms of like a fighting game if your super meter is charged up properly compared to somebody else. But when you attack, you are risking your initiative in order to make sure that they are the ones who take damage. The only way to deal health levels of damage is through decisive attacks. And your initiative ends up forming that pool. So you want to make sure that your initiative is high enough that when you actually make your attack, it's worthwhile. When we roll join battle, it's assumed that you have the ability to put your weapons in hand. So are you drawing your weapons at this time?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. That for you is a Tetsubo?
Mm-hmm.
You want to say what a Tetsubo is?
It's a large 2-handed bat with some spikes on it. It's not quite nails. It's more like small, shallow spikes, but it's still a spike bat. It's traditionally used to unseat riders off of horses.
And Pyres, you're currently wielding?
I'm wielding 2 red jade diclaves, which are sort of long short swords. They're an artifact weapon. They go by the name of Hope and Abandon.
All right. So this is it. We're gonna get started here for our first combat of the game. Pyres, you have the highest initiative. It is your action first.
Well, I was up on the table, or sort of like midway into getting up on the table when I asked him what the fuck is his problem, and I said how disgusting it was, and then I said it wasn't a good look on him, and I said, I know what's a good look on you. I'd like to leap down off the table and drive the pommels of my swords into his chest to knock him down. John, I have 9 initiative. I want to make a decisive attack right out of the gate.
You're just going for it right away.
I'm going for it. I want to knock him down and end this now.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you have stunted properly, so you'll gain 2 extra dice for this.
Hey.
Remember that your decisive attacks do not include your weapon accuracy, so your decisive attack pool is only your dexterity and your relevant combat ability.
Great. I'm going to...
Brevin's defense, I should point out, currently is 4.
Okay. I'm going to spend 2 motes to add 2 dice to my pool using my charm. I'm going to channel some of my some of my essence into driving down, trying to attack him here.
Okay.
I'll spend for my peripheral pool, but it's 2 motes. What do I want to do here? Yeah, 2 dice. Okay, here we go. That was a 10. That is 7 successes.
Well, that's definitely enough to beat his defensive 4. So
Dice are good.
take your 9 dice of initiative. That is your damage pool. Go ahead and roll.
Cool.
It's not an insignificant defense, you're correct. But it's been overcome. Roll well.
It's
Remember
not,
that your
yeah.
zeros don't double on a damage roll.
Correct. Pyres is angry. This is 3 successes.
Okay.
That is...
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah,
seven.
no, it's fair.
So with 3 successes, that's enough to definitely do some solid damage. As you slam the pommels of your diclaves into his chest, you can hear the sort of hollow thud and some creaking of his ribs as he stumbles back a little bit, his eyes wide. Aresta, it is your action.
I intend to attack Brevin. If he is also attacking me, I believe that would put us in clash.
He is, in fact, he was originally going to attack Pyres, but why not?
Okay.
He's going to attack you.
Clash.
All right. I will be spending some motes to activate Become the Hammer, which will give me a few extra dice to my roll, and I am going to be picking up my Tetsubo and whirling it right across his knees.
You're looking to break his legs?
Yeah.
Now, is this a withering attack?
This
or
is a
decisive
withering attack.
Okay, so you're going for a withering attack.
Yeah.
Here. All right. I think that he's going to try for a decisive attack. He wants to at least cause some damage on his way out of this.
Okay.
So he's going to attempt to bring, as your Tetsubo is swung forward, he's going to attempt to slam the heel of his foot just directly on the wrist, holding that Tetsubo in an attempt to deal you some damage.
All right.
So we're going to roll together. Defenses don't matter. Whoever comes out on top is the one who does the damage. Let's go.
Do it.
2 successes.
The real star here is
4 successes.
Then that's enough. Remember that you have 2 threshold successes, so you add that to your
taking
attack.
notes as Gale.
His soak is currently 4.
whispering thing into yourself.
So remember that soak is subtracted from your
Yep.
total pool.
Perfection.
And I will re-roll any 6s that appear, thanks to Become the Hammer. That is a secondary effect of it.
Absolutely.
That is 16 usually.
Plus your 2
Plus 2
threshold.
minus 4 brings it down to 14.
That's
Let's
right.
go. That's a 6 and a
Hey.
6.
Neither of you spent more than 5 motes of peripheral.
Correct. And it was
Not
personal.
peripheral,
That is another
Not that I guess
6.
it-
Great.
Well,
1,
we're
2,
not
3, 4,
nice.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 withering damage.
With 11 withering damage, which is a significant amount of damage, Aresta, that means that you are going to gain 12 initiative.
Yep.
And it means that Brevin is going to lose 11. You gain an extra 1 for successfully attacking somebody. But that means that your initiative has now been put right up to 18. However, your opponent is down to -5. You've put him into initiative crash, which also means, Aresta, that you gain an extra 5 for
That's
crashing
nice.
your opponent.
Just a note that Pyres should be down to 3 at this point.
Oh yes, Pyre should have reset.
The old tracker do.
Yeah, I updated them. Well, yeah.
Okay, so
That's amazing.
Should
After-
pray.
after having his chest smashed and then now thoroughly pulling himself back, he's fallen over one of the tables and is still trying to bring his guard up. He's definitely in a poor position right now. Round.
I'm gonna go to knock him out. This will be a decisive attack. I just want to double check. God, I have so many pieces of paper. Bashing. Yes, good. Great. Yeah.
So with initiative 23, I assume you're going for a decisive attack?
Yes. I'm again gonna spend my 4 motes for Become the Hammer.
Okay.
And this is the corner of the mess hall where
That
Brevin's
should have been
brains
4.
live.
So.
I'll point out that the Tetsubo does bashing damage
Yes.
compared to the lethal damage that you deal. Now,
And-
he doesn't want to die,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have much in the way of defense right now. He is crashed. His defense is 4.
Okay. I am going to swing the Tetsubo down to. I'm actually gonna
Like in prison. You have to-
jab the Tetsubo down so it's gonna lean right on his sternum and hopefully crack a few ribs.
Okay. Gain 2 extra dice for your stunt and go for it.
Can I quickly toss in on to Gilad Good that we're using Lock Casting Atemi, which is beautiful, and the combat tracker there now automatically gives you your motes back at the end of round.
It's awesome.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
We
thank
don't
fuck.
even have to think anymore.
It's
That's why I had them back. Yeah, I'll put them away again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
Okay, that beats his 4. That's 3
No, that's
threshold, but
23
it does not
dice.
matter.
Yeah, what's his defense?
His defense was 4, but it doesn't matter for a decisive attack. You just roll your initiative, which is 23, which is high, significant.
I feel like
I'm just gonna reroll 3 from
this
my
is gonna
pistols.
be a
And
real-
6s reroll because of Become the Hammer.
Is that also included for decisive attacks?
Let me double check.
knee slapper. No.
Attack.
Yep, they do.
Lethal damage unarmed, but I'm not unarmed.
Edge of the cedar.
Yep.
Yeah, damage roll.
You won't have a seat left after this, if you know what I mean.
And your initiative also resets to 3 because you have made a successful attack.
This is intense, man.
4 successes.
4 successes?
Yeah, 4 damage.
That's, no offense, a horrible roll
Yeah.
for the
Oh wait, I have 3 more dice that I need to roll. Sorry, I forgot about the
You only got
23.
So many dice.
5.
So many
5
dice.
successes?
Yeah.
All right, so then that's a total of 8 health levels that you've managed to pop off this person. If Brevin had Oxbody technique, he might still have some health levels left. He does not. You managed to bring your Tetsubo down directly onto his sternum. You definitely hear a pop, and his head cracks against the table, and his eyes roll up into the back of his head, and he passes out.
Do not speak ill of my house or my family. I'm saying this to his fang. Do not pick on those who you deem lesser than you. Always punch up. And I'd like to turn and move to leave the mess hall.
This isn't like an overt social action, but I want to just like shout Oresta into the rest of the hall, like in a celebratory, you know what I mean? Oresta! Ooh. Just to the hall.
Gale?
I am quietly getting up, stepping over Brevin, and following Oresta.
He needs some milk.
To his fang's credit, they do not retaliate against you, but they look at you, sizing you up, knowing who just did this. But the rest of the crowd is cheering at this brutal display. Now, admittedly, it was a 2-on-1. You did both, but he did attack Oresta. even though Pyres went first. So there wasn't quite the same level of like, you know, why are you picking on him that way? But you still hear cheers as the three of you exit the mess hall. And then standing outside is Jewel, idly holding her dire lash in one hand. Juin, sorry, not Jewel.
No, that's okay.
Juin. This is how you decide to spend literally the first hour of your existence together.
Taking down folks that are trying to take advantage of our situation. Making sure that we are no further crippled than we have already been.
Gale whispered, "Your analysis of these tactics, please."
It seemed clear that Ragara Brevin was intent on spilling blood. He had no intention of backing down, even after he was the first one hit. His fangmates did not join in, meaning he does not have their respect. I would not be surprised to see the Fang disbanded because of his actions in the near future. Clearly, he attacks Aresta with words because he now understands that he is no match for her in any other regard.
The two of you get to class, and she looks over at Aresta and Pyres. Go.
I'm heading off with Aresta. We'll head to the...
Yeah, you have classes together. Basically,
Oh,
everyone in a year goes to the same lecture,
Right.
Unless there's like a breakout, in which case it's more like, okay, well, if you're one of those archery chumps, go over there, and if you're like the kind of people who ride horses, go over here.
I'd like to try to
Archery.
catch Gale Whispered's eye, just to do like a quick little check-in if she's okay with us leaving her.
She gives you back a blank stare.
Cool. She doesn't look panicked. I'll go.
She doesn't look panicked.
Has Gale Whispered ever looked panicked?
I don't think so.
I mean, she's been panicked.
She's
but
been
yes.
panicked,
Guaranteed.
but
But
I
she
don't know if
doesn't-
her face changes. I'm working on that.
Very
Because
good.
Liz's face is often panicked.
Come with me, Juin. Or, sorry, Juin says, come with me. As she starts to walk back across the quad, why do you think I disagree with your tactical analysis?
Because you were observing the battle from a different perspective. You were observing from the perspective of faculty. I was observing from the biased perspective of watching my fangmates attack an enemy.
Do you believe that Brevin has lost the faith of the rest of his fang?
I believe that is incoming.
Why? Because he suffered a defeat at the hands of two?
Because he walked into two fights he could not win. We gave him an out. He did not take it.
Some would call that bravery.
He was beat down and no one stood to his defense. That is all I need to know about him.
Strategic analysis of your two fangmates.
Kathak Pyres has the making of a truly great commander. When he speaks, people listen. He has the potential to instill and inspire enormous armies.
Would you
Kathak Aresta will not suffer bullies or imbeciles or anyone talking down to those who are beneath them.
Would you follow him?
I would have him believe so, yes. Straight face. Fuck.
Sorry.
Not Liz.
No, it's me.
Would you believe that his commands were correct?
If I was the one who gave them to him, yes.
would you trust him with your life?
To be determined.
You just saw what happened in there,
I did.
and that's not enough for you.
No, it is not.
What would be?
For me to trust him with my life would have to be in danger, and he would have to save it. And I will aim for that to never be the case. Therefore, I may never know if I can trust him with my life.
That seems like a lonely way to go about it.
I do not need to trust my fangmates with my life to trust them.
Are you not a soldier?
I am a soldier, quartermaster.
And is not the purpose of a soldier to act as part of a unit?
Yes, but it is also important for certain members of the unit to be able to see how the unit operates as a whole. It is impossible to see how you are operating as a whole if you are within. I am within and without. It is important to have people like me.
You understand that armies don't typically like soldiers who attempt to place themselves outside the unit.
They do not like them, but they need them. I believe this is why I am still here.
We'll see how well your beliefs treat you in the future. Get to class. The class that you have now, for all of you, is a class on immaculate philosophy.
Oh, perfect.
The professor for immaculate philosophy. Are you like? Is this like a dream for you? Like, oh boy.
No, it's just like, oh boy, fun subjects.
The professor
I thought I was glancing dreamily at the professor as well. I don't know. Depends.
The professor for this subject is Neman Nejak, Nejak. Who looks like he never stopped being a monk, even though he isn't technically one. He's got his robes are very simple, very plain, obviously made of magnificent, craftsmanship and materials, but seemingly plain. His head shaved except for one lock, which comes right at the back of his head, elaborately braided and wrapped around his shoulders. And the rest of the class is sat down. There is, of course, Brevin, who is missing, and Gale Whispered, who's the last to arrive. But he doesn't seem to make mention of it. And as you sit down... Well, I thought that today we would discuss anathema. And he spends the next 60 minutes doing nothing but discuss training. Training that any of the Exalted should be doing in order to prepare for threats against the anathema. Clearly, he's not actually teaching his class. He is going over a subject that he knows very well and doing a very good job of seeming like he knows what he's talking about, but deliberately avoiding the topics of the other types of Exalted that exist in creation. The Solar Exalted, the former rulers of creation who fell in their own hubris and were overthrown by the Dragon-Blooded. The Lunar Exalted, the beast-like warriors, the chosen of Luna, who served as the consorts and advisors of the Solars. Gone. But not covered. Not in this class. However, if you really did want to know how many push-ups it takes to feel like you're completely jacked, well, Nejak's your guy, apparently.
I'm gonna raise my hand, or whatever the equivalent would be.
Pliers, yes. What is it that I can do for you?
Professor Najek,
Yes.
do you not believe it? Perhaps you are still coming to it, sir. Do you not believe it would be wise for us to know as much as possible about this threat, so that we may meet it head on the battlefield, or with bureaucracy, as needs arise?
What threat are you talking about?
Well, the threat of the anathema here in creation, Professor.
Well, the anathema are not a threat. That's why we have the Wild Hunt. The Wild Hunt is set to hunt them all down as soon as they appear. They're destroyed so that they cannot threaten the realm.
Sorry. Of course, sir. I suppose if any of us were to have the honor of joining the Wild Hunt, we would learn more there about their appearance, their tactics, their powers.
A shy hand gets raised off to the other side of the classroom, and the student talking is Tepet Single Edge, who is an air aspect. And she has a very quiet voice, but she says, Professor, I don't know whether you actually informed us about how we are to recognize one of the anathema. I'm certain that would be useful for us, even if, of course, they aren't a threat to the realm. Although I believe they are they not? Is that not why we have the Wild Hunt?
Oh, I've never been so insulted. To have my teaching called into question by a mere fifth-year cadet. Oh, well, very well, if you must know. The auras that surround these anathema, you can see the disgusting marks that appear on their foreheads. The marks of the blasphemous, and
he indicates the cast marks of the Solar Exalted by drawing them using a wax stylus on the wall. There's, of course, the sunburst, the full disk, the setting sun, the night, and the eclipse. And yet the names that he chooses for these are not the same. The Forsaken, the Blasphemous. As he goes through them now, this is a topic that clearly he's a little less comfortable discussing. But to your knowledge is correct at the very least.
Well, sure. If I can make eye contact with Tepet Single Edge as I sit down, or was seated, I guess, I just want to give them a smile and like a, thanks kind of look.
You're smiling at Tepet Single Edge?
Yeah, from my perspective, they came to my aid and kind of like helped bolster my argument, so I'm going to give them a thanks.
She looks up and then immediately just puts her head back down and starts taking notes, like just hardcore note taking. So many. Oh, she's even has to shuffle the papers. Oh wow, there's just so many notes to take.
Just so many notes.
So many notes, all the notes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Class dismissed. Go on, get out of here.
And it's like a full 15 minutes early.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, I am one to leave. That's time in the sun. Let's go. Let's go.
Time in the sun.
Gotta work on my tan, bro. Just kidding.
God.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I would never.
It's a gorgeous day outside. Like perfect temperature, only a couple of clouds in the sky to break the monotony. It's beautiful.
Wait, we still have clouds. I mean, I don't know if these two are kind of well, I don't know. I would like to wait for my fang mates and then go outside to the quad, whatever, and flop down on the grass. But I'll see what they want to do.
Some grass adjacent to some shade.
Nice.
I will join the grassy sunny side, but so tactics moving forward. This won't be the end of trouble from Brevin or others, I'm sure.
We need to see if he outright attacks again. You did the right thing responding to his challenge in the middle of the mess hall with the rest of the students watching. This was tactfully intelligent. And I learned a lot.
What did you learn?
I'll let you know as it's pertinent.
Okay, suitably chastised, I turn to Aresta.
I learned not to ask fucking questions.
Yeah, apparently. God damn.
Your question is irrelevant.
Aresta, I am incredibly impressed and...
Thanks for the assist.
Well, thank you. I don't think you needed it.
She did not.
This, a little bit more privately, is how I dealt with him in first year. Seems he's not very good at remembering the lessons he's learned.
That would imply that he learned a lesson at all. You're right, though. We need to be ready. I don't think people... I know there are some who are twisted by their power. Not anathema. I mean, there are some princes of the earth who are twisted by their power. They become angry. They become lonely. They become perhaps concerned about their place here. But I believe that we can win him over.
Is that what you want to do?
I'm not sure.
Brevin's just a spoiled brat. You think he can fix that?
Probably not.
He's made himself very unpleasant to not only us, but I do not believe he's held in high esteem with the faculty either. His grades certainly would not reflect that. I believe he is being kept around to challenge those who need to be challenged, like us, which means that whenever he does challenge you, you need to think very carefully about how you respond and how it looks.
You think he's only at the House of Bells as a tool to help others prove themselves?
Each one
That's
of
what I
us
would
is
do.
a tool. We fight in fangs. We fight against one another in sparring matches. We're entirely tools for one another. It's education.
That is true.
So if he challenges you in private, think of if it's worth rising to. If he challenges you in front of everyone, it would be good to accept, and it would be better to win.
This is about as close as Gale gets to saying kick his ass. Drop him like a class you hate.
Right.
You drop classes? You hate classes?
How dare you?
Can I drop gym?
That's called.
Can I drop this physical meat?
Can I drop outdoor ed?
That's called quitting the House of Bells.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
God damn.
So good.
It's really good. Aresta, I really appreciate as well you managed to get the last word in. I hope his fang mates really took it to heart.
Time will tell.
I want to read intentions on Aresta.
Okay.
Based on what she said in the fight, specifically, always, or I think it was always punch up, or like don't punch down. I just want to know if she has any intimacies towards, bullies or unfair fights.
Okay.
But don't.
My guile is too.
Okay.
You
my
can just-
intentions
Oh,
is
then
4
I
with
can let you know. Like, I cannot resist.
Yeah, you can just let him know if you would prefer.
Yeah.
So, do you have any intimacies relating to bullies?
Minor intimacy. I will not suffer a bully.
minor. Okay, cool.
Ah. It's almost as if you had it known.
Something that came up after session 0.
Well, that's true.
I was like, I could tell what was happening, and I was like, this is an intimacy. I need to write this down.
I should write this down.
While you're
So-
sitting in your pleasant patch of grass, you can see that across from you are the faculty offices. Not all faculty members have an office here. Juin's office is honestly just close to the barracks because it's her job to listen for naughty students. But you can see standing in the window, looking at the three of you, is the commandant of the House of Bells. Tepet Nguyen. No, sorry, Nouvelle, right? Was it Nouvelle?
I have it here. Nuven.
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 Sorry, Nuven. Blah, blah, blah. I should learn the names. Tepet Nuven.
Yeah.
Nuven is an air aspect who just has almost like a ghost-like appearance, very pale. Her hair is done very elaborately in 2 braids that go right down to her feet. White hair. And her hands clasped behind her back. I should point out that no one has ever seen her carry a weapon if she wasn't teaching somebody how to use one. Nobody has seen her ever fall. But it should be pointed out that it used to be when you first arrived at the House of Bells, that she used to tour the grounds rather often. She'd go and visit different classes, sometimes offer her own perspective when it came to instruction, occasionally even taking over an entire lesson, which, depending on the teacher, made them either quite happy or quite annoyed. But it was 3 years ago that House Tepet mounted a campaign against the anathema of the Bull of the North, gathered many of their princes of the earth, marched forward, and suffered disastrous losses. A house that was once known for its martial prowess, one of the preeminent houses in the empire, all of a sudden found itself completely crushed by this one campaign. And while they used to feel like they had quite a hold on power, they no longer do. And ever since this has happened, Nuven hasn't really left her offices unless it was for an appropriate ceremony. She's still very well respected. She still absolutely takes part in student life, but she no longer teaches classes like she once did. She no longer just parades around when needed. But I should point out one thing. There is a saying about Nuven among the students. Watch your legs. Because if she speaks with you, it either means that you're about to go far or your legs are about to be broken.
Are we being observed directly by Tepet Nuven? Or is it just that she's...
She's watching you from her window.
Eh. I think I literally go... like, well, not like... Okay, maybe not literally.
It starts to rain. She puts one hand against the pane of glass. The theme from Requiem for a Dream starts playing.
Oh my god.
Oof.
Oh, God.
So, our barracks is a shambles. I suppose we'll have to start on that before the end of the next few days. Unless you
Would be
enjoy
nice.
sleeping out in the rain. Much as we do so on certain campaigns, much nicer to not.
I think there's a reason we've been stuck in that barracks specifically. See if we
very
can come
subtle.
toge-
It's very subtle. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, exactly. Come together, make a show of fixing it and working together. That is,
How good are you at fixing things? How much crafts do each of you have?
We did
It's
it again.
tradition. No one was gonna take some. I thought
So
we'd-
I said before that there was no link between ExalTwitch Nexus, our previous Exalted campaign, and ExalTwitch Academy, which is our current one. But apparently there is. Our player characters either don't know how or choose not to buy crafts.
Crafts goose egg.
goose egg. I'm sure we can figure it out. Like, I don't know. It's not like we pick up a hammer and we're just like, "Bah!" You know what I mean? Well, I hope that's what happens.
Pyres, seduce a crafter, quick.
Hey, want to come build some thing with
Hammer
me?
my wood.
Whoa!
Hey, do you want
wow.
to come break my bed and then fix it after?
I hear you're good at handling tools.
Self-burn.
I really like break in my bed after.
Oh wait, are
Hang on, I
Pyres?
have a charm for this, guys.
How active is Pyre's love life, and is this going to impact my sleep schedule?
How
Gale probably
how
says out
deeply
loud.
do you sleep? I don't
So-
know what's
There
going
were
on.
Sometimes
3
she
empty
says her inner
barracks rooms
monologue out
now,
loud.
okay?
So I should point out that while you share a room, quote unquote, there are still like divisions between beds. It's just not like a full wall, so it's
How
not
thick
like
are these divisions?
No.
oh, you can still hear each other.
Not enough.
Damn it, Pyres.
Little Gale whispered, if you know what I'm. Never mind. Okay, all right, it's good. Sorry. I shouldn't make a.
Amorous liaisons typically are not held in barracks rooms unless they are empty. The old sock on the sliding paper door trick doesn't necessarily work this time around.
You just stick it in the door so that when you open it, it falls out.
Flop.
I mean, you're encouraged to act together as a unit, and one of the things about a unit is that you are ostensibly like family. You eat together, you sleep together, but you know the divisions are there. They're more like divisions as opposed to walls. I'll put it that way.
Fair.
Flop, the sexiest word.
I chose it specifically.
Alfarius
near
was
my
here believes that the library is where.
You take your dirty thoughts out of
my
this
books.
sanctified place.
I will, having worked in libraries for a decade, it is absolutely where people who are horny choose to make out.
Yes.
that would make sense to me.
See the haunted barracks of please can somebody make up this classified ad that Pyres is going to put out
So Pyres is
using
gonna put out.
the exact wording that Aragorn just posted.
Myers is going to put out. Got it.
No. Okay.
Oh God. Damn, Henshi.
Kenshi, I think we need to have a conversation about what the use of socks are and
Why do they always come in
A
threes then,
windsock.
John? Huh?
What?
It's a
What?
windsock to catch the air aspects. Come on.
To catch them. Sorry.
to catch the air aspects come on.
Oh. I think this calls for a... Okay.
Aragorn knows what's up.
Should, well, at the risk of just making a bunch of lewd comments outside of the...
You just realized. Please don't die.
What's happening? I don't want to
Yeah.
hear.
Oh my god.
Going from oh, John down.
Jenga.
Shit.
Oh my god,
Oh
he's
my
dying.
God, we
This
lost
is not
him.
good.
Oh, that wrong.
No,
Oh no.
quick.
Don't, you'll make it worse. All
You're making it worse.
right, time to have our cleanup montage, I guess.
I
I'll get the mop.
Give yourself a minute. Okay.
I thought you were the person sitting on the
You're
top
good?
shelf
Yeah.
over there.
Oh, of
I
course.
knew
You
you.
must
The crosshair broke me.
The crosshair broke him. Okay.
Coming out my.
You can call if I break is making me swallow the wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
God.
You're
Talk
good?
amongst yourselves.
All right.
We will.
You're still muted for now.
Should we hasten back to the barracks and
With
start
15
cleaning?
minutes, I don't know whether that's enough. So much. Yeah, I don't know.
I think we have a bit of time, and we can get a head start. At least
Yeah.
try to categorize what we'll need to fix. Try to prioritize, I guess. Prioritize. Yeah. Damn.
Great. I can do the heavy lifting.
Maybe we could get new mattresses.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Maybe we could steal new mattresses.
Gale.
there are 3 empty barracks rooms. Assuming they haven't also taken all of the beds out of them. We can just
So
do
let's
little
go there and
swapsies.
find the best 3 mattresses for ourselves.
Gale, we can't take mattresses.
We're just
Why not?
switching them. We're just moving furniture. We're not stealing property. We're literally rearranging it. It's like borrowing a library book and then returning it, and like it's in the library, even if it's not on its shelf.
Right.
Gail looks at Aresta with a tremendous amount of respect.
Tremendous. Tremendous.
Which kind of looks like she's constipated. That's her look, I swear.
Is that what that? Okay.
Yes.
Great. So to our three former. I'm just gonna take my old mattress in that case.
So, John, we've decided, or sorry, I guess these two have decided, and I'm going along with it, that we're going to go and switch our old mattresses in our old barracks for the new ones in our new barracks. Pyres is a little concerned about this plan, but he's excited to see how they're going to talk about it.
All right. Well, that makes some sense. By all means, you can do so. Please let me know if there's anything that you're trying to do to enhance this action. I don't think any of you have stealth charms of any significance or
No.
Nope.
larceny.
I don't have charms, but I
Nope.
do. I'm pretty decent at stealing things.
Thanks, Gale. Yay.
Roll
Yes,
me a
it's
die of
in
luck.
order.
No.
A die of luck?
All 3 of you roll me a die of luck. If you match the roll that I made, then you're going to get noticed.
Okay.
8.
1.
Damn, Kate. 3.
I don't even know what it is.
8.
No!
Gale, no!
Damn it.
You rolled high. How dare?
So as you are pulling the mattresses out of your old barracks,
I guess Gale
you
Ready
hear
for
again
Resta.
that same tap, 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 tap of the hilt of Juin's dire lash against the door frame. That mattress doesn't look like it belongs to you.
This is my old mattress.
I'm going to repeat what I just said, and then you can tell me whether I said something incorrect. That mattress doesn't look like it belongs to you.
I would like to request a switching of mattresses. This one for the one that is in my new barracks. Please, quartermaster.
A thought exercise. Is it better to ask forgiveness than permission?
It depends on the act.
She walks forward and plants herself so that she's standing directly in front of you. How tall is Gale Whispered?
She's not very tall. She's like 5'2".
Okay, so
really not very tall, yeah.
so
No, sorry.
Juin, I should point out, which is also available on the wiki if you want to go and have a look for yourself. Juin's height is in fact defined at 190 centimeters, which
You know
puts
what? Let's make her 5'4".
Okay, this puts her over 6 feet tall. If
Perfect.
we're working in feet, so she stands and then she just looks right down at you. You're stealing.
I am attempting to replace it with something of equal or lesser value.
Fang of the Lost Hand has been caught stealing property from another Fang.
There is no Fang here. It was disbanded.
And with that, she takes her dire lance and holding it not by the hilt, but by the actual lance itself, which incidentally, if you don't do so very carefully, it will just shred your hand. She reaches down and she clubs it across your knees.
Oh.
What did I tell you about the existence of any Fang you thought you were a part of?
The only Fang I am a part of is the Fang of the Lost Hand.
And what Fangs have you ever been a part of before this Fang of the Lost Hand?
None. There is only the Fang of the Lost Hand.
An incredible display from the Thought Master of Barracks 5. Don't get caught again. And she turns and she heads right back out of the barracks.
Gail goes to her happy place, which is the library.
Aw.
Now, do you continue stealing the mattress?
No.
For she did not actually stop you.
That is correct.
I know, but she's feeling chastised, she's feeling dumb, and she's feeling weak because she can't drag the mattress properly.
Resta would
She's feeling a
totally
little low.
have probably interceded.
Aresta just got like 2 mattresses. Like,
She just like, perhaps like heard the tap and like ducked behind a thing and listened. And now it's just like,
so do you replace her mattress for
yes.
her? Okay. So you don't know this yet, but you're heading off to the library. What
Yeah.
about you, Pyres? What about you? Aresta, you are apparently playing Mover.
Well, I did my own.
Yeah. Oh, you totally did your own. And in no part am I implying that, but Aresta is just ripped.
I think I'd like to, once Aresta returns to Barracks 5, or whatever our new creepy haunted one is, I sort of suggested that we like prioritize repairs. So I want to work with Aresta to figure out what's the most important thing. Probably the leaky roof. I'm gonna go with leaky roof. but we're
Cool.
gonna
How about
see
you
what
roll
it
me
is.
your intelligence crafts?
Oh. No, I'm just kidding. There's no such thing as a
There's no penalty if you don't have the ability. You're allowed to just roll your intelligence.
Yeah, I forgot.
What's your intelligence there, Pyres?
It's 2.
Hey, that's great.
Right on.
That a pretty decent botch chance coming at you, folks. No, but it's a fail.
I mean, it can't be that hard to fix a roof, can it? Like,
Yeah. No. Why? Yeah. We find something non-water permeable and like stick some nails through it into the. Yeah. It's gonna be fine.
cool. You let me know where you find non-permeable materials as well as nails.
I'm gonna go charm someone later.
Aresta, are you helping him in this endeavor?
Yeah, I'm helping to identify the obvious things like
There's a hole.
there's a whole roof.
Go.
Yeah, I'm identifying the things that need to be solved. I'm sure we'll find more.
All right. Gale whispered, you are on your way to the library.
I've grabbed the books that I took home over the holidays, and a little something else.
What's the something else?
It's a present.
When you arrive, there's a student who's leaving the library carrying a book under his arm, and he nods at you, knowing that, if there's a student that's going to be in the library, it's probably going to be you. You see that the librarian, whose name is Bracken, is standing behind a table, and she's got some papers just laid out in front of her. She seems to be very carefully lifting one and then placing them on another. She's rebinding a book that has come apart. And then she looks up. I didn't know if I expected you quite so soon. I thought you would have classes.
It ended early, and I needed to return these.
You needed to return them so soon. Have you already finished them all?
Yes.
Do you even take the time to enjoy the books that you read? You are allowed to enjoy them, you know. It isn't just about the pursuit of knowledge.
Gaining the knowledge is enjoyable.
All right. Just put them there over on the cart, and when it's time, you can replace them.
Did anything new come in over the break?
There's a new treatise about the, about the events immediately following the disappearance of the Scarlet Empress. It is restricted.
Who was it written by?
She just gives the name of a relatively up-and-coming scholar, someone who you've probably read a couple of his books already.
Mm-hmm.
He's decent. You find his word choices are not terribly entertaining. His vocabulary is, above average at best.
Okay. He's clearly speaking, is his writing clearly biased, or is it...
No, he's doing his best to provide a, first-person accounts of other people. He's compiling information as opposed to trying to deliver his own. Obviously, anybody who writes anything has their own internal biases. Do you wish to try to determine what his are?
Would that
That's
be
an intelligence
worthwhile to do
linguistics
when
roll.
I'm reading the book?
I mean, you've read stuff of his before.
I have, yeah.
So, intelligence linguistics, please.
Ooh, what an exciting role.
Well, we finally have somebody who actually gives a fuck about linguistics.
Oh, God.
An interesting ability in Exalted while she's making this roll is lore. In Exalted, you can make a lore roll not just to know if you know something, but to actually define what is true in the world. So you can make a lore roll to say that, in fact, in the city of Arjuf, there are 4 separate places where one can buy pork buns. And if you succeed in your roll, then, assuming the storyteller's okay with it, that becomes the truth. You can say that the House of Bells is known for having secret exits all around the walls. That could also be the truth. But it is a way to make lore a slightly more interesting ability than simply just the "do I happen to know this" button.
3 successes.
3 successes?
Yeah.
It's good enough to know. It seems like this author, who I suppose we should give him a name. So let's say he's Pelops Kemet, Kamet. It seems that Kemet does what he can to try as hard as he can to appear like he's unbiased. He's trying too hard. And in fact, that's sometimes a sign of a writer who isn't willing to commit to their own beliefs. But in this case, it seems like it might be a political question. Kemet is doing this because he hopes that people think that he is neutral.
Aha. Cool. Okay. Gail holds up a little paper bag that she brought in.
Oh, and Saren Zero, thank you so much, by the way.
Thank you, Saren Zero.
Sorry, I realize I don't always catch all of these things. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
One of the vendors by the docks in Arjuf makes these. It's a fruit tart of some kind.
And this requires sampling, I assume.
Yes, before I distribute them to the rest of the classmates.
I see. Your prudence is justified.
You are the only one I can trust in this matter.
I understand. Normally, it would be, of course, up to a wood aspect to attempt to determine whether there are any toxins involved. But I suppose fire can do its part to burn that impurity away. And as she places it under her tongue at first, almost as if she doesn't want to taste it right away, a slow smile just creeps over her face. It is what she lives for, is that moment where she gets to taste something different than what she's normally able to get here on the grounds. It doesn't taste like home, and that's why it's perfect. Now, the food at the House of Bells, still, like I said, quite good, but it's ostensible that she's been tasting it longer than many.
Mm.
You're wearing a different uniform.
This has always been my fang. I can't believe you've forgotten.
Jewin thinks she's very clever, doesn't she?
Do you know what happened today?
I know some. I do know, however, that there was only one person who could have made the call to rescue you from this.
Commandant?
Nuven wants you here. I don't know why. But she's the only one who would have been able to pull enough strings to make sure that you weren't expelled alongside the rest of your fangmates. The same goes for the pretty boy and the tough one. I don't... What are their names?
Kathak Pyres and Kathak Aresta.
Do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me your perception socialize, please.
Ooh. Oh, this'll be...
I've been to
That's
the
a
library.
pool of 4. All right. Here we go.
Hey, that's my pool.
Yay. That's 2 successes.
She's making a show of not knowing their names when it's very clear that she does.
Oh, that's cute.
The pretty boy had the boulder.
The boulders,
The
please.
boulder. Oh, I'm here for it, folks.
The boulder doesn't understand why there isn't more children's fiction available here at the House of Bells. The boulder likes some good young adult novels.
Yep.
Well, they were right to keep us. Somebody very wise and prudent would not dig any deeper into these matters.
And who told you that? The same person who told you to claim that you've never been a part of another fang.
Yes,
And she's someone to listen to. Clearly.
often. When I am trying to sneak to the library after hours, she is someone to listen to. I'm going to shelve these.
Don't you have only 5 minutes until your next class?
Oh.
I'm very fast.
By all
Can I come
means.
back after classes to play Gateway?
If you think that's prudent.
It's necessary to my training.
Necessary. All right. Don't bring your set. We'll use one of mine. We'll attempt the clouded game this time.
Kale looks kind of excited. Turns away before she reveals too much. And goes to shelve the books, trying to bring herself close to the restricted section.
Are you trying to
like-
lift anything out of the restricted section?
Specifically the treatise that Bracken was talking about.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you to make a stealth roll.
Okay.
Because I'm going to give you the stunt for that. So by all means, go ahead and roll.
I would like to establish, if I may, John, something about our relationship, which
Yes.
is if she doesn't catch me and it's gone, then she does not look into it.
She has never once mentioned that a book is missing that you have taken.
Okay.
And she's also never mentioned that a book has been returned if you're the one who took it.
Okay.
I won't say anything beyond that.
Perfect.
Maybe she doesn't notice.
Somehow I
It's
doubt
possible.
it. This is a dex stealth.
Dex stealth. I'll say, again, having been someone who's worked in libraries for a very long time, I don't fucking know where all the books are. There are a lot of books.
It's a lot of books. It's a library, yeah.
What the fuck? Look at this. 11 successes.
That's disgusting. There's a lot of 10s
What's-
here. Fellas.
on lifting a book.
Lots of zeros, I guess.
You lift the library.
The whole library goes into your pocket. You return to your barracks.
If the fire aspect noticed that you took the book, she gives absolutely no sign, although you're almost positive that there's no way. Now, of course, she did just bring up the book and now it's gone, so I mean, like, but...
I love it. I love it, Eric.
Oh my god.
Pyres and Aresta.
Yeah.
Having surmised how shitty our accommodations are, and made some plan to try to figure out how to fix it, not really knowing how.
Mhm.
I
What's-
may have just turned myself down a bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think I'm good now. Sorry, guys.
What's the plan? Long term, midterm, tomorrow,
Midterm.
It's midterms? Oh, shit!
I didn't study.
tonight, tomorrow, this week. How do we survive?
I mean, I think we're just gonna have to be a little uncomfortable for a couple of days. Honestly, Aresta, I'm gonna level with you. I think my best bet is to make really good friends with some of the groundskeepers and see if they can loan me anything that we can use to fix this up.
Yeah, sure. I guess I was talking like all the rest of the school and the social and all of that.
Oh.
The whole Fang situation.
Ah.
We
Right.
can deal with some lumpy beds and drippy ceilings.
Gotcha. Well, I can't speak for you. I imagine Gail's going to come back to us with an itemized list of appropriate students for our Fang pretty soon. I think this is, I've said it before, I think this is an opportunity for us to show what we're made of. And I'm sure none of the faculty here are going to take into account the fact that we're only 3. But if we can overcome obstacles, that is going to be so...
Come in.
The door slides open, and you see a bright-faced second-year student clutching a scroll that's been sealed with wax. It is common for second years to act as runners, to deliver messages. And this one is very tall, very thin, standing ramrod straight and looking like they're taking their duties very seriously. And they thrust the scroll out. There's a message.
For
The Fang of the Lost Hand.
the Fang. Thank you.
My God.
Your name?
It's
Sorry, John. They give me their name. Good.
no, I have a name. I have a name.
no, I got this.
Sorry.
It's Pelops Lian.
Well, thank you, Pelops Lian. You've done a good job.
Normally, after somebody says their house once, you don't need to say it again.
Okay.
That'd be like the equivalent of saying, "Oh, I'm John Verrill," and you're like, "Thank you, John Verrill." Like,
I guess I'm trying to make a point of I have acknowledged that I have heard your name, but okay. Thank you, Lian.
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of saying somebody's full name again.
Yeah. Well done. Let's encourage the youth, shall we?
What kind of seal is... Oh. So that's comedy.
I don't know
high five you through the frame here.
I feel like I missed something here.
This way?
What?
No, it's
Yeah.
It's over
No,
here.
no, no. You're next to me. You're
Oh,
next
fuck,
to me.
shit. Clap. Got it. It's actually really funny.
That was so good.
Not fucking likely.
Oh God. Okay.
I open it.
Yeah, no, I'm curious what it is.
It says, just written in elaborate script, Game 1, Coral Helix. Two hours after first light. The Glade.
Like signed The Blade?
No, The Glade.
The
Oh, that makes
location
more
blade.
sense.
2 hours
That's a place.
after.
Okay, got it.
After first light.
Game 1,
Yep.
Coral
Yep.
Helix. 2 hours after first light. The Glade. That's all that's written on the scroll.
So I have to guess what day they mean. I guess tomorrow.
It would be tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow.
And if I recall correctly, Coral Helix is Brevon's.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Now, you're relatively sure that he's heard enough that he's probably not going to be present for this,
So only 4-3.
or at the very least, not going to be a combatant.
Mhm.
Remember that in Exalted, so healing bashing damage, still relatively quick, right? But healing times in Exalted are not nearly as accelerated as in other games. There isn't like a healing charm that just is like, boop, and you're fine, boop, and you're fine, boop, and you're fine. The best that you can do is accelerate your medicine rolls or to potentially help somebody out as it goes forward. But also remember that Dragon-Blooded aren't the same as Solars,
Mhm.
right? Solars had, big deal medicine charms. Dragon-Bloodeds have some.
Yeah, but you still had to like sleep overnight for most of them, or it was like you temporarily forget that you hurt, but it's still gonna hurt once this
That's right.
charm is done.
Damage is more significant in this game, and it lasts longer. So just be aware of that. Which is actually something that I really do like. It means that damage isn't just like, well, I either kill you or you're going to be fine in 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Team.
I'm gonna hand it over to Pyres.
Yeah, I'll also take a look. This doesn't... It reads a bit like a challenge, but it's the game aspect that's got me interested.
Sounds too official. Sure, Gail will have some insight.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah. Better work on that.
Like you said, 4 versus 3. You're worth 2, at least.
All right. Soon we'll find Gail in class.
I can be coming back around this time. Oh no, wait, we have class.
gotta
Never
go.
mind.
Yeah. But we can find you outside of class if you want to chat.
I can say that the rest of your day at school goes by relatively uneventfully. The rest of your day is actually more divided. You have individual pursuits that you can look at. There isn't like a grand lecture, which thankfully means that you also don't have to deal with the assembly of Coral Helix all at once. There is at least one part of is dedicated to specific weapons training, in which case I imagine that you are following along with your personal styles. So for Pyres, that would be swordplay.
Mhm.
For Gale Whispered, that would be your chakram, your throwing weapons, and for Aresta would be your martial arts training. Unless, of course, you're trying to branch out into another form of fighting.
By this point, I think I would probably be focusing rather than broadening. As much as in my first few years, I would have gotten a bit of everything and tried to get a bit of everything. I think for now, I'm,
So what you're saying is that Aresta can get it.
Yes.
But you do have the opportunity to reunite at the end of the day when it's the evening meal.
Gale,
Pyres.
what do you think of this? And we presumably both like produced, exact somehow.
Game 1.
John.
Game
sorry.
1, the Coral Helix. 2 hours after first light, the Glade.
Could I do a linguistics roll on this to see if I can determine, let's see, the penmanship, who wrote it?
Sure.
Who may
Absolutely.
have sent it?
Absolutely. Are you doing anything special to determine this, or using any special tools?
Nope.
Are you like using the light that's glinting off of Pyre's eyes to...
Yes. 100%.
Oh, sorry, hang on. And I like smooth my hair back so it doesn't cover both my eyes, so now they shine.
No, see, that's what
brighter.
I do if somebody needs to write off the shine of my big bald head.
You rub it?
Is this a perception linguistics?
This
say, or-
is perception linguistics.
Okay.
I feel like I remember solar charms that let you do like sweet ass read intention rolls through linguistics as well. I don't know if that's like a common thing or not.
Linguistics is cool.
Yes.
Of the charms that are in the book, of which this is the Dragon-Blooded book, so, a pretty sizable tome. Of the charms in the book, a full 2/3 of them are not combat related. So,
I've got some cool linguistics charms, like one that allows me to forge another character's handwriting and writing style.
Oh, if you know who this is, it's going to be so useful.
I know.
Okay, sorry.
I rolled 2 successes.
2 successes isn't enough for you to determine who actually wrote this.
Okay.
It's also very possible that whoever wrote it is dictating it to somebody else. But you do know a couple of things. First thing that I'll tell you is that this seems to be a set format. This isn't the first time that someone has written a note like this before. It seems very well practiced and very well templated. The second thing that I'll say about this is that the writing is relatively fresh. This had to have been written today, most likely after lunch. Sorry, not after lunch, because you got it during that thing. It would have been written after breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, this was either issued by the Fang themselves because they want revenge, or it was issued by a member of the faculty
Really?
to test us. Yes.
Almost certainly not written by a student.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Great.
So it was almost certainly not written by Brevin?
Because it was sealed by wax.
Oh, yeah.
And the seal was of the House of Bells faculty. Sorry, I should have made that
cool,
clear.
cool.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. We yeeted it away, but presumably, Gail saw it.
No, I would have tried to close it together again.
Well, the only purpose of a wax seal is to show that it hasn't been broken.
Yeah.
It's not like you save it or it's like disrespectful of you to ditch it because you have to break it to open it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is another test, most likely.
Another test.
But I don't know who specifically on the faculty issued it.
Win. Easy.
Maybe.
So, how do we win?
We don't know what the game is.
We scout out the area first.
Scout out the
Let's
four
go
of
to the
them.
glade.
It would probably be a good idea for you to know the rules of the game before you played. But I'm afraid that's going to have to wait for next session.
To the glade!
The glade!
No.
My God, they're blowing the glade horn.
That did go super fast.
It really did.
Zoom.
4 bingo squares.
Thank you to all of the follows and the cheers and the donations and the kindness that came in during the session, folks.
Yes.
Like,
So much of many of all of those things.
trying not to interrupt scenes for it is hard.
Why is Kung Fu Fenders shouting darn? And no.
Bingo. 4 squares. No bingo.
At the end of our sessions, in and amongst the discussions that we'll have with us, with you, and all that, I do make my players earn their experience. So here's what you got. you do gain your 5 standard experience, all 3 of you.
Ooh, craft experience.
And I will give you the opportunity to earn 2 more.
Fine.
First,
Okay.
you're going to need to tell me what you or your character learned in this session. One thing, any one thing of something that you learned this session or that your PC learned. And the second is if you can tell me what was one thing that you really liked about another player's play in the game. So we're going to start right to my left.
Aresta learned that her assessment of pyres from afar is thus far not too far off the mark. And as far as another player, I'm going to say, Liz, I'm really loving the tactical mind of Gale and how you're playing that out so far. It's really good.
Let's move on to the next one. Scott.
Yes. I learned that, or at least I think I've discovered, that Pyres has probably never really had to stand up to, like, mean-spirited people. And that may just be a facet of how he's lived his life, or it may be a facet of morale's influence on his life. And I'm not sure yet. That's something I learned today, and I think that's really interesting. I also got a new intimacy from Aresta. Thanks, Aresta.
Punch up?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, actually. In terms of another person's play today, I mean, like, I thought that was such a game-defining moment, Kate, to sort of play off the trip as like, oh, whatever, and then once the fight breaks out, to not take any prisoners and just like crack them. I just thought it was really defining, and I thought it was fabulous. Yep.
Elizabeth.
I learned that the way I'll be taking notes for this campaign is as Gale. It was really weird. It just started happening. So like her analyzing everyone's fighting styles and the different NPCs, it's all written like from this weird analytical place. And I really loved Pyre's interaction with Brevin. You're rising to his challenge, but at the same time, when somebody tried to pull you away, you went. And so I think that was really cool, because you're like, Pyres is also trying to negotiate this new terrain of like, how much is he willing to let go versus not.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like a really cool moment.
Hey, thanks. Hey.
I can't wait for there to be a session where someone's just like, I can't think of anything that I liked about what you did. You sucked. And that's when I know that RPGClinic is dead.
The end.
The end.
The clinic is closed. Please come back again later.
The Crosshair has a question, which I think is an appropriate question. Let's see if we can get that called up there right on the screen so that we can have a look. And it's honestly like it's a decent question for one of our Fancy Corner parties. I mean, this is, I guess, technically the return of Fancy Corner.
Yay!
All right. Bit of a big one, but the talk about Gale's gym preference gave me a great chaos question for the post-stream. Yes, I'm bringing them back. Surprise. Why are you at the House of Bells?
It's actually I think it's a good question.
Because she sees the House of Bells as the house that is training Dragon-Bloods to deal with threats. And she believes that she needs to be there dealing. Like, they need her help to deal with threats. Therefore, they need her even if they don't realize they do.
Damn. Dude. Yep. Good answer.
No, I don't really think she fit in anywhere else. And her family was like, fine, I guess war is going to like go this way.
Your school's goals are good, but your methods are bad. I will join.
War never changes.
I will join.
And Aragorn has a question, which we'll throw up there as well. Game 1 question: since you have until game 3 to finalize your character sheet, so technically you have until game 4. You can play 3 sessions, and then you have to finalize. Have any of you had a moment where your intended character plan did not survive interaction with the NPCs or the other PCs?
So is that sorry, I just want to clarify, is that like a general, has that ever happened to us in other games, or is that specifically about this game?
If you can quickly answer in general and then specifically answer
yes.
this one.
In this game. That's what I thought.
I guess to boil it down, do you already notice that you might want to make changes to your character sheet? You don't have to commit to anything right now, but curious.
Not yet from this session. Nothing jumped out at me.
Okay.
Yeah, same here. I felt like one of the core concepts of Pyres kind of was a bit muddied, but I'm also looking much more at the intimacies that I've written down as like guiding principles, of where I'm kind of taking the character, and I feel like that's a tightrope because there's a lot of them here. So not yet. I'm with Kate on that one.
I'm considering upping my perception and taking away a dot somewhere else. Gail was much more observant than I thought she would be. No matter how hard I try, I can't get away from perception. I clearly love having perception as a higher attribute. So
I was going to say that you made a lot of perception rolls this time around, and there was a lot of you saying that Gail was looking or paying attention to or trying to discover. So that makes some sense, and we can absolutely look at that.
Yeah,
but
so I'm going to look into that.
Sure. Cool. I mean, that all makes a lot of sense. I was surprised that none of you just decided to come out and say, well, now I have crafts 5, let's go fix this thing.
Let's fix a dorm.
Yeah,
I'll just get it and then I'll change my mind again after next session once we fix it all. No.
Wink. Yeah, can you imagine? Oh, I don't really need these crafts dots anymore. John throws us some sort of golem.
Thanks, Rev Monty.
So Rev Monty says that a shout out, you all did a great job shifting from who is in the light at any given time. I really enjoyed the teamwork. I mean, why do you think I hang out with these people? Look, I have dealt with gaming groups where it was me, and if it was somebody else, then fuck them. And I don't mean me, I mean... Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So... that's session 1. Now, one thing that I will tell you is that this isn't where the RPG Clinic experience ends.
Oh.
Not only are there streams from us throughout the week, although many of them on our own individual channels, there is a fantastic place to discuss this game, and it's on our Discord. The link is in the chat. You can also see it right down below. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link is right down below. You can find it there as well.
And if you're listening on the podcast, the link is in the podcast episode description.
You want to let people know about that podcast there?
Yeah, we are hosting through Anchor.fm, which distributes to Spotify, Apple Music, a whole bunch of other big important ones that I just don't know the names of because I don't really do podcasts personally.
However, what's now available as a podcast?
All of Changeling the Streaming. All 136 episodes plus many, many, many bonus streams.
Yes!
It's all up there. So if you were like following through an RSS feed, I'm so sorry for the flood of spam, but it's all there now.
Which is great news.
We should point out that the podcast is provided as like a, we hope that you enjoy it. The podcast is just an unedited audio cut of the VODs that get put up on YouTube.
Yeah, they haven't been equalized or anything.
Yeah. So at the moment, that's what we can offer. But hey, if you want to listen to these things on your way to work or while you're cleaning around and you don't want to be able to watch it, this is the perfect way to do it. Kate crushed it, apparently.
Getting into character.
The other thing that you'll be able to find is our wiki.
Mm-hmm.
It is available as a link from RPGClinic.com. It's also on Fandom. We've transferred over to Fandom for our wiki, another big Kate undertaking, because it's a lot easier to edit, it's a lot easier to use, and it is the perfect place for you not only to find out about previous episodes, about characters that have appeared, locations, but we urge you yourselves to make contributions as you see fit. Do you want to put things down for one of your favorite NPCs? By all means, and go ahead. Do you have fan art that you want to submit? In the past, we've had some wonderful pieces of fan art. We'd love to see them again, and we'd love to feature them at the top and end of each one of our shows. Right now, we've just got the covers of the books, which are great art, but we'd love to see some of yours. And you can also submit that through the fandom wiki, and it'll be there for all to see, which I think would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Tuesday, what's going on, Scott?
I usually stream on Tuesdays. In the evenings Eastern, I'll of course keep people updated on the Discord. I'm usually on at 6 p.m. Eastern over on my Twitch channel where we play games in character. I will be continuing The Council, a very
The Council.
intriguing mystery. I don't know how it's going. It's so strange. I love it though. I'm really enjoying the mystery of it. The mystery. That will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern or thereabouts. Stay tuned.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah. Wednesday?
Wednesday is Scrub Check over on my channel, twitch.tv/John Verrill. Every week I get challenged because sometimes I am a gigantic scrub. My current status is not a scrub, as I succeeded in my most recent Android Netrunner challenge delivered by Scott. Also, I believe delivered by Scott is going to be this week's current challenge, which is to defeat Super Mario Bros. 3 in under 2 hours, warpless.
Warpless.
So
Jeez.
that is going to be attempted on Wednesday. That is at 5 p.m. Eastern
Tougher.
time over on my channel.
On Thursdays, we have Clinic Hours. That is our other primary RPG stream. That is at 5 p.m. Eastern on this very channel, at which point we usually discuss topics relating to tabletop RPGs. Do we have a subject set for this week yet?
We had a lot of fun going over Exalted last time, and we didn't get around to creating the final evocation for Pyres' weapon. So we'll probably create another evocation on stream alongside any of your questions about Exalted. Any other topics that come up, suggest them in the
Are you
Discord.
going to be the new PogCam? Are you
I
going to
am.
be tomorrow's
I'm
PogCam?
trying to dethrone John here.
Friday?
Friday? Oh, no.
Friday is not I.
It's me!
You're going to have quite the week there.
I will. We'll see if we can get another scrub check going for that one. So if you also have a suggestion for a challenge that you want to put forward, go and throw that into the Discord. I'll be glad to see it. I'm currently working towards Pukajutsu's Super Mario Odyssey. We'll see if I might be able to get to that point. But it won't be this Friday. I'll tell you that much. Then on Saturday, we've got Drew Crew, right?
That is correct. We are
Oh,
starting a brand new Drew.
Oh, I see
The
what you're
Hidden Staircase.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. No, it's a ton of fun. It's always fun. Join us at 3 p.m.
Oh, I just hit my mic with the book. Sorry
But
about
on
that.
also-
Sunday,
Yes. Yeah.
right here, Session 2, Episode 2 of ExalTwitch Academy. Special thanks to our mods, Aragwin, The Crosshair, and Real Brick Wall. Thank you so much for being here. For all of you, for your support, your subscriptions, donations. Do us a favor. Tell somebody about this. Tell somebody about this game and see if they can watch either on YouTube or show up to the next session. We'd really appreciate it, and it's your support that's taken us from the beginning of ExalTwitch Nexus to here. And we hope that we get to keep going up to the right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.